features in the Weight Watchers app just dropped. In the My Progress tab, I can...
This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
And see it, you'll love it, and it's all done in the best possible way.
Hey everybody, happy Friday, hope you're okay. I just had to do something on, so you might have had a blip there for a second, but hope everyone's doing well. I'm trying to adjust something over here, and saying a lot of uhs while I do it because I'm trying to remember what I was doing before I had the little... Dude, really? Okay, Tom Houston, I thought you'd been here before, but if not, welcome in. You are now a Knight of the Rhomboid Table. I now declare you a Knight of the Rhomboid Table. Okay, so let's go straight into greeting the people who are here. And I saw Artie is here, so I want to start off by wishing Artie again a safe trip. I know we talked via text, but since you're out there and maybe listening in, very safe travels. I hope everything goes beyond well and go super for you. Lord knows you, as much as any other person on the planet Earth, needs it with what you've been through the last 3 years. So just enjoy your trip, and hopefully as much that can go well will go well, and we look forward to having you here. Although Joyce is in panic mode already, but that's a different story. So let's see who's here, and let's greet everybody else. We have Trainwork. How are you? Welcome in. We've got Artie is here. Sir Brian from Finnerton is here. Sir Sean from GWR Buckley is here. There's Sir Andy from the Hot Dog Pilot. Sir Efo is here. Sir Jean Ricard is here. Sir John and Sir Joseph are Sergeant at Arms. Sir Dwight is here. How are you? Sir Graham from Leamington Station. Great to have you. Sir Leslie, welcome in, Mr. Gilpin. Little History is here. Sir Terry, how are you? Mick, great to have you, Sir Mick. Sir David from Scott Rails. Sir Simo of Simo D. It's been nice to see you posting again the last few weeks. Sir Tim. Our Sir Galahad, our CEO, or Lancelot, whichever one you want to be, Tim. It's all yours. You can be Merlin if you want. Although I don't think we should have a wizard named Merlin. He'd need a different name, like Marvin or Smokey. I don't know. Trainman is here, and my brain's going. Chris from Volleys 56XX. Sir Chris, how are you? I almost made 3 X's there, which would have been a totally different channel, wouldn't it? We have Vanda Neisenbahn is here, and more people are coming in as I see my list bouncing. So Sir Jeff of our Flint Hills, and whom else, or did somebody drop off? I thought, oh, Sir High is here from H&H. That's somebody I did not catch. So again, welcome everybody. It's been a weird week. We've had wild weather this week. Joyce actually had 3 days off this week, so she was home. Actually, she's had all days off this week, but her school got canceled Tuesday and Wednesday. And then they didn't cancel school Thursday, but she had already taken the day off weeks ago because she had a bunch of doctor's appointments yesterday. And then they canceled school today because of all the snow. It was too cold. We were like minus 15, minus 20 in the morning, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then today we've had like 4 or 5 inches of snow, and we were supposed to get worse. And so they canceled ahead of time because it was supposed to start heavy about the time the kids were going to school and get even heavier when the kids were coming out, which is now, and it is picking up again. So they were fairly accurate with that. Let's see, who else is coming in that I might be missing? My list is growing. Did I see Heath is here? Hello, Heath. How are you? Nice to have you here, Heath. Hope you're doing well. So, there's 2 big news, bits of news, 2 big newses. There's 2 big bits of news on my world, besides the fact I've had Joyce home all week. But let's start with the first one. And let's go to this camera. Village View, that one. All right. So, Jean Ricard has been a little more up to date because I talked to him a lot through the week. But I posted some pictures a week and a half ago where I had started laying this out. Then I decided I wasn't happy with an aspect of it, and I dug it all up. Re-smoothed a bunch of this out, repainted parts of it, and then I put the tape back in. But the Fowler car system is, the track is almost in, but I've embedded the track. Instead of trying to build up to the track, I've embedded it. I just used a router and ground a Dremel and ground out the width of the magnetic lines, and I embedded them into the styrofoam, the insulation board, the foam insulation board. And then you'll see on the left-hand side a big white mess, and that is because I had a bit of a hill there. And when I had done the Fowler car system, the Fowler car track went up it. I was able to slope it, and it didn't affect. But since I'm not using the Fowler car track, my bus and van and car did not like that hill. So I had to rip it out, and then I sanded it down a bit because it wasn't very smooth. I put some vinyl mastic in there because vinyl doesn't expand or contract, and I have to wait for it to dry. I just did that today, and then when it dries, I'll sand it down and I'll do the groove and I'll complete that loop, and then I'm going to paint the whole thing. So I'm hoping by Wednesday that whole area will be painted concrete color. And then I'll lay the track lines in and I will start putting the motors in to see if the turnouts work. Simo, the village has been moved. It may look better because everything is now packed up against where it used to be very spread out. It's all packed in, so I had room to work on the Fowler car area and the bus station. So everything is packed up and on top of each other. So it's condensed. It's not bigger, it's just more condensed. Hey, did I see Clive is here? Hi, Clive, Sir Clive, how are you doing? I'm just catching up with chat here now that things are moving, not as fast as I wanted. Not as fast as I wanted, but as I started doing it, remember, I'm doing a hybrid. I'm trying to combine Wiesmann and Fowler and add my own little takes to it. And so it's a discovery. I know how the Fowler car system works, and I could have just redone the Fowler car system, but I didn't want to use the roads again and try to bed everything up to them because the roads are 2 millimeters thick, and I didn't want to try to, which is the first thing I tried. And then I finally decided I just wanted to sink everything in with a Dremel, and that's working great. The big step now is I need to paint over it, and then drop the motors, actually put the motors in from above, cap them off, and then see if the motors work. If not, I'll just have the cars running around. If the motors and the turnouts don't work the way I want them to, it'll just be a circular motion, but at least it'll be some kind of motion there. So that's the first big news. Hey, did I see Sir Digger is here? Hello, Digger. Hope you're well. Can you get a closer look? Well, let's see if it's working today. Mobile show. So, but you're asking my shaky hands here, guys. Let's see. Come on. Hang on, guys. I'm going to make you sick for a minute, but wires are like horny snakes. They just wrap around each other, and it's insane. Dude, come on. Come on. That's where I wanted you to go. Right there. I know you guys are all getting sick. Come on. I'm trying to give myself slack. I got 20 foot of slack and it's all tangled up. But, so here you go. I'll try to go to the less shaky hand. But that's the best I can do right now. But that's all embedded in. And you can see where I laid the tape the first time and then decided to alter it a bit. And then over here you can see where I ripped out a large area and am redoing it. I'll probably have to put a top coat on that. But yeah, I've been ripping some things out and altering on the fly and then ripping the tape out. I don't know if that gives you any bit more of a view. So my nerves, I've been working on stuff all week, so my nerves are just I'm shakier than ever today. So yeah, I do have a chance to, I've got a 20-foot extension line on this. I could actually walk it around over there, but it's all tangled up, and it would take me forever to. Kyle, how are you? Yeah, well, that's the problem when you have my shaky hands and trying to work with stuff, and especially sharp tools. Not fun with shaky hands, guys. Although I did handle the Dremel fairly well. I had guides, but that doesn't stop my shaky hand from going that way. You know, I've got the guide and I try to brace against it, but the hands are still shaking. But the Dremel actually worked very well. I'm glad I did it. I'm very pleased with where I'm at. I did do a test run with the cars, obviously, to see, yeah, they didn't handle that going up the hill very well. They would hit a spot and stop. Just the front end of the bus would be partly up the hill, and that would cause the back end to drag. And so I just decided to rip out a section of styrofoam and then put a new layer in and then put mastic over it. Hey, Grandpa Rails, how are you? I don't know if I've been working hard. I've been working. It takes a lot to motivate me to work on this, and I've had the motivation, and then I kind of lost it when I did a couple of experimental things and wasn't happy with and wasn't sure where to go. And then, as usual, I talk to Joyce and just pour my heart out to Joyce, and she starts making suggestions, and all of a sudden she said, well, can't you carve it out? And again, it's one of those things where her idea isn't, you know, I won't say it's not practical, because she gets me on the, she's like, well, can't you just carve it out and lay the track in? I said, well, it's got to be perfect. I said, well, I could Dremel it. Maybe I could Dremel it. And then I had to go through all the insanity of finding the right size Dremel piece that did what I needed it to do. I finally picked it up Wednesday and Dremeled everything out Wednesday and laid the, magnetic tape into line there. And then I had to rip it all out because I decided I wanted to change something and blah, blah. Okay, the other thing is, now last week, you guys all know that I got a, well, did I have it last week at this time? I think I did, but I didn't run it. I had a new locomotive, a new old locomotive, a 46, almost 47-year-old locomotive, yeah. And today in the mail, this came. And this is part of the same thing that one loco came in. This locomotive came in the box I just showed you. It's the same thing. It's a Class 111. It's the same chassis. It's the same top, just a different paint scheme, except this one's analog. It doesn't have a decoder. So I can put this on my layout and run it, but actually I wouldn't be running it. It would just run itself because it will work on my layout, but it'll just go. There's no stopping it, controlling its direction, speeding it up, slowing it down. It would just keep going. But I got this, and I got the 4 cars that came with it. And I just finished a video about half an hour before I went live, a first impressions video about this. But I did change. I was going to run my ICE4 today, but since this came in time, I didn't change my announcement. But I am going to run it. So let's go look at the trains I'm going to run, and then I can babble more as we go along. And the chat seems to be flying, and I'm missing. All right, Simo, we'll see you when you come back. Oh, Kronbacher Pills. You needed to invite me over. I like Kronbacher. Oh, that sounds good. All right, let me see. Let's go to 11-lane view, right? Yeah, bam. Okay, so here's what's running today. The Railjet's running for the first time in a few weeks. And I was going to run the ICE4, but I have that little 111 that I got last week sitting there. So he's going to run. I then have a freight train, a container freight train with a Class 181. That 181 is by Roco, by the way. So I've got a Roco Railjet, Märklin, that Class 111 right there, the red over white over red, which, like I said, looks like the Austrian flag, even though it was Deutsche Bahn. And that's got to be one of the reasons they rejected, like, if you're not Austrian, you can't give us an Austrian flag-colored logo. What are you thinking? You know, what are you thinking? Verrückter Dummas. Klugscheißer. Anyhow, and then the Roco 181 with all the container freight. Then I kept the Metronome up because I'm kind of still going for a little bit of color variation today. And then I brought back out that BR449. I gave it last week off, but now it's back out again today because I really couldn't decide. I was struggling trying to decide what to run today. There's Artie again. So I've got the Metronom running, except this time he's running locomotive first. Sorry, Jean Ricard. Then I got that double-decker Brawa. And by the way, the Metronom is Märklin. And then way in the back, I got my Märklin Lint Class 648 NordWestBahn DMU. So let's put these in motion, or at least most of these in motion. So let's get, whoop, whoop, come on. We'll get him running. And then I'm going to get the freight train running. And let's go ahead and get the guys in the background running. What's the matter, Railjet? You don't like going up the incline today? Now let's see, do I have it open over here? Do I have you going the right way? No. There you go. Now I got you going the right way. And yes, there is a reason I'm holding the last one up a bit. Okay, I think that's good. So here is that new guy from last week, 1987, but at least he's digital and I can run him here. But these are the experimental cars. So he's jerky. I am still trying to work with him a little bit, but at slow speeds he's very jerky. But these are the experimental cars that came in that box I just showed you. So I'm going to start them off slow just so you can get an idea. These were all themes that Deutsche Bahn was looking at. We want all our trains to be painted in this style. We want all our trains to be painted in this style. Okay. So now, a German jerky? Yep, a German jerky. So we'll see how long the live stream holds up today. Last week we got an hour and 20 minutes before it went off. Saturday I got an hour and 40 minutes before, and actually it never went bad. It and see, Chris from Valley's 56, it's interesting you mentioned that, because in the automotive industry they actually say white cars, especially from a distance, are the ones that look the cleanest. Like black cars show the most dirt, and white actually absorbs it better. You always think white cars would be the dirtiest, that all the stains would show up, but apparently, actually, white cars and white vehicles actually show stain less than red and black, darker colors. I don't know how that works, but yeah, the design studio, as they called it. Now, there is another set that were sold individually, and I just bought 3 of them the other day. I did not buy the 4th one because the guy I was buying for didn't have it, and another place had it for cheaper, but it was from Germany, which means it would take a couple of weeks or more to get it. And I'm holding out, hoping I can find an American site where even if I pay a couple of bucks more, I could get it sooner. But the guy, I bought 3 cars and he had already sold out the 1 car. He didn't have that one left. He had one left of 2 of the cars I bought. So I got his last ones, and then he had like 4 left. He is a dealer. Hey, Raymond Legs is here. Hello, Raymond Legs. All right, be safe, Artie. CMD models. Salvus. Servus. If you're from Austria. And let's knight you. Willkommen. Servus. I now declare you a knight of the rhomboid table. All right, Kyle, take care. CMD models, if you have a channel you want to advertise, if you want to plug your channel, promote your channel, you can put a link to you can now put a link to your channel here, and people can go to your channel to check it out. But you can see how once he gets running, how smooth that 111 is running with those experimental design. In fact, he's flying probably a little too fast right now. I need to slow him down now that he's warmed up. I was just in Austria for almost 2 weeks back in June, so it's been half a year now. But my wife and I spent a week in Salzburg, and then 5-6 days in Vienna. Actually, it was 6 days in Salzburg and 6 days in Vienna. And it was hot, especially in Vienna. It was hot for June. It was hot in June. It was towards the end of June, and you guys had a heat wave there. But I fulfilled another lifelong dream by finally getting to Vienna. I'd been to Innsbruck and to Reutte a couple of times across the border from Garmisch, but I had never been any further into Austria other than Innsbruck and Reutte. So Joyce and I went to Salzburg and did some stuff around the Salzburg area, both in Germany and in Austria, and then we went to Vienna. And I'm still mad. Not really mad, but Joyce and I hemmed and hawed. We talked about either catching a train. It was like an hour and 10 minutes by train, or like 2-3 hours by riverboat, and we could have gone over to Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, just to say, hey, we're in another country. And we chickened out. We decided not to do it. We were just kind of tired, and it was hot, and we were just like, nah. And now I regret it. I wish we had. Yeah, and by the way, I'll reveal that in the video, but the sliding doors do work. All 4 doors do slide open. And not side to side, they roll up. The rolling doors, they actually do work. Black Forest Hobby, yes, they are an official licensed Märklin shop, or at least they were. But they have never had a lot of stock, in my opinion, as far as Märklin goes, and some other companies. For a European store, they were always very limited on stock. I don't know what the issue is, why that was the case, but I think I have bought something from Black Forest once, probably a model, a building. They were the only ones that had it in stock, and I bought it. But otherwise, I've never bought from them. I have them on my speed dial on the computer just to occasionally go look and see what they have in stock, but it's never been impressive. They never have something there where I go, oh, they've got it, or what a great price, I'll buy it from them. I'm better off with Lipa, first of all, but as far as American stores, Renaud's or AJC Kids. A and J and C Kids, if you say it out. Annie, Jewel, and Charlie, and Kids. AJ and C and Kids. But online, they're just AJC Kids. Annie, Jewel, and Charlie, and Kids. And they are a wonderful shop. They probably have the best customer service, in my opinion. Now, somebody may have had a different story, but in my opinion, their customer service is the best of any American European dealer. They used to be by far cheaper than any other American dealer, but now they've all kind of equaled out. Renaud's, every now and then Renaud's is cheaper. Every now and then AJC Kids is cheaper. Every now and then Micro Macro Mundo, also known as Roco USA, they every now and then are cheaper, and they're usually the most expensive. Yeah, well, yeah, Euro Model Trains is a Märklin shop, but that doesn't mean anything. For example, there's a place about 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes south of me called Robbie's Hobbies in Columbus, Ohio. If Eric from ANC N Scale and Life Journeys shows up, he can tell you about it. They're listed as a Märklin dealer, and on their website they always say, "Oh, we have a nice, a big supply of Märklin." No, they don't. I've been there. They don't. They don't have a lot of Märklin at all. And he and the closest Märklin dealer, but he's not an official Märklin dealer, but he used to be, and he still has a lot of Märklin stock. Is Ormondy's, which is west of Cleveland, little town, Medina, Ohio. Hey, did I see Mark from Model Railway Fantasia is here? Cool video you put up today. Yes, and Eurotrain Hobby. I have bought a lot from Eurotrain Hobby, but it's almost all been Auhagen models because A, he has them, and B, he has them at a great price where it's even cheaper for me to get Auhagen from him than from Lipa, unless I do a big Lipa order where the discounts all add up and then it is cheaper. But otherwise, he sells Auhagen at great prices and usually has a very good stock. But yeah, Eurotrain Hobbies, ETH, he's also a nice shop. Now, I usually buy my track from Jim's Hobbies, which is from near Boston, or JJ's Hobbies. He's JJ on Facebook, and he's well known now. He's Jim's Hobbies there too. Well, online, like his address is JJ Hobbies or whatever, but he's Jim's Hobbies, and he has a nice collection. And I've been stuck on this one camera for a while, so let's go to the multi-view just for a little while. I just wanted to let you guys see that train roll by a few dozen times, but now we'll go to the expanded edition. Tom Couples is here. Hello, Tom. Glad to have you here. No such thing as being late. This is not a school day. This is not a job. This is a live stream. I may start at 3, but people show up when they can show up. There is no mandatory time. There is no punch clock. The only one that has to be on time is me, and even I could say, screw it, I'm not going to start till 3:15 today. Oh, the floor! The floor! Sorry, Tim. Sorry, Tim. And all my UK friends waiting for the 00. Come on, guys, get moving. Come on, Eurostar, get moving. I don't know why you're being sluggish, but there you go. All right, so, yeah, let's go to the floor cam and see what's going on the floor. Wow, what am I? 32 minutes in before I turn the floor stuff on. But we're running the Azuma again because I always like to run the Azuma, and I'll run it as often as I like. And the Beatles Eurostar because I was in the mood for a couple of high-speed trains down there. Hey, Richard Brown, how are you? Andy Dobson, good evening to you. Sir Andy and Sir Richard have joined the fray. But the one thing I want to do is I want to see just how modern a chip I can put in this. And do I have room to try to sneak a small speaker in and go with a sound chip on this? I don't need a sound chip on it. Hey, Kieran. Hello, hello, Kieran. See, what I'd really like to do is I know you can do it. I just haven't figured out yet. Is like with OBS, you can put the scene changes on a timer so that would just go through the cameras. Like, okay, every 2 minutes it will change camera. Or change scene. And you can even have scene transitions, which I do know how to put on. I just don't, because they actually just add time between scene changes. So where is my guy? Okay, he just went there. So let's start with up the ramp. And then there he comes. Whoop. Wow, he is flying. Dude, slow down. There you go. Slow down a bit, dude. I know you're an express train, but really, I've got to try to catch him rolling around, and he was past 3 cameras before I could change the cameras. So let's try that again. There he goes. Zoom. Oh, that's why I missed him. That camera is frozen. Okay, so I'll have to figure out why he's acting up. I'm just having no luck trying to follow this guy. Okay, 2 of my cameras are frozen. What is going on? Huh. Well, I will see what I could do to fix these. No, he's okay. So which 2 are frozen? Okay, so the Bremen-Bahnhof view is frozen. And the Delmenhorst low view. So bear with me for a second, kids. Because, yeah, this camera seems to be frozen, so I'm going to have to see if I can reboot it. And then... there we go. Okay, so there we go. That's why I wasn't seeing the train. Alright, so that one's fixed. Now I gotta go reboot the other one. What's up with you guys? Why are you being so crazy? Sorry, I'm ignoring the chat for a couple of minutes while I sort this out. So yeah, this guy's frozen, so let me see if I can sort him out. Whoops. I have to see which one he is. Aha, there he goes. All right, now he's back in. All right, much better, much better. Hey, there we go. There's that guy flying around. Not the best camera. I really want to get a better camera for there. Anytime I put a better camera somewhere, I take one of the old ones and stick them in a new place, which is why I have this view now. Okay, now he's finally run in a bit. Glad he finally kicked in. Okay, there's that. Yes, lonely platforms. Yeah, he's I'm going to have to go in and adjust some of his speed. He seems to have 3 speeds. Sputter, moving slow, light speed. Because I've actually turned his speed, like he's supposed to be doing about 54 kilometers an hour right now. And he's like, no, 54? No, we're going to go faster than that. He's definitely not going to scale speed. All right, let's go to... Let's try to do some of the cams. I don't... Yep, that's my old phrase. Azuma! I used to do that when I would watch Angel of Crew when she would go live and she would catch Azumas going by. I'd go, Azuma! And I'd type it in. Dude, did you just crank back up the light speed on your own? You're supposed to be doing 46 kilometers an hour, dude. He's just flying. I do try to keep them below scale speeds that they might actually do, because on camera things look like they're going twice as fast as they really are. Just so that you can see the locomotives and see the cars. Oh, I know, she's back, but I'm not. There's just so many channels anymore, I can't keep up with them. And hey, Christopher, my good friend. Man, it was really good talking to you on Wednesday as well. I had a couple of really good phone calls with Jean, and then talking to you on Wednesday was cool too. I had everybody on the phone Wednesday. I think I had 4 different people chatting at me. I felt loved and wanted. This is sort of a 45-degree angle from the 11-lane view. The only problem is this camera really struggles focusing, as you can see. When there's a lot of trains moving, it's trying. Wait, what do I focus on? What do I focus on? What do I focus on? I should turn the autofocus off, but well. It does not have a motor fitted. Years ago, I picked up a motor. My friend Brian Finn nagged, asked me, was I ever going to get it running? And I was like, yeah, I have it fitted, or I have the motor. It needed a bit of work, but I think I tweaked it, because when I tested it on something else, it was working. So now I just have to reinstall it and do it. And that was 4 years ago. It's just one of those things that has been sitting, waiting for me to do a darn thing. So So I do have the motor. It's not installed. I had to repair the motor, which, considering the first time I used it, I had nothing, no juice flowing through it. And after I mucked about with it, it had juice going through it. That tells me it probably would work if I installed it. Now, why didn't I install it? Too long a story to explain here, but it's a combination of multiple projects, laziness, forgetfulness. I am the living example of inertia. Once I get going, nothing stops me until a force acts upon me. And if I'm not doing something, it takes a force to get me moving. You're waiting at Lint. Oh, I wanted to get over to Lint this year and we didn't make it. It was only an hour or so away from where we were at Salzburg, but we had other plans. And when we decided, what have I been up to this week? Fixing a heater. Working a little bit on the Fowler car system that I was showing at the beginning. So if I do the village view, getting that Fowler car track laid in, because what you're seeing is already version 3 this week. I've already installed it 3 times this week. Hey, Chris from Model Train Aficionado. Sir Mick, how are you? Sir Chris, how are you? I mean, I just saw Mick's name, and then I've been messing with, well, today I was messing with the new cars that came in and shoveling snow. I'm retired. Slow down. That's just it. Other than when I have Cayenne here, I don't do a lot. I hope my daughter Lynn doesn't think I'm victim blaming here, but when my grandson Cayenne's here, he keeps me busy. Sometimes he'll give me about half an hour to 40 minutes that I can watch High's Tuesday live stream, and then he knows he has to let me watch Mark Donegal Dad's Thursday live stream, and even then he gets a little impatient after a while. But see, the thing is, my grandson has now learned how to open the security gate we have at the top of the stairs. So he'll come down by himself. And if he thinks you're not watching him, that you're not paying attention to him, he finds something to do, hoping you will suddenly notice he's doing it. I shouldn't be doing this, but you're not paying attention. Oh, you're paying attention. See, I'm not doing this. He's funny as hell. It's very clever stuff he does. It's just very clever. But yeah, I'm not allowed to ignore him for too long. He finds ways to teach Opa to not ignore him. Ah, where are you tangled? How are you tangled? Oh my goodness. Dude. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Ha ha ha! Okay. There, I got that untangled. So I've got about 20 feet of space. Now, I'm going to do something here. No, I wanted to go on my channel. Okay, how does it have my current live? This is crazy. Hey, did I see Anthony from Middleport's here? Sir Anthony, how are you, sir? Glad to have you here. All right, let's see if I can... Whoops. All right, I'm going to take this with me so you can see the chat, but I'm going to do a little tour here. So let's go to mobile cam. If you really hate my shaky hand cam, you might want to step away from the keyboard for a little bit, but let's do this. Not the floor cam. The mobile show. There it is. We're going to take you on a tour. Come along. Come along. Oh my goodness. There we go. Thank you for Slack. I'll probably knock a couple of cameras up, but at least I can see the... Alright, so here's the stairs, and up there... there's a little gate, which usually blocks my grandson from coming out. So here's where I store all my locomotives. These are Märklin on the top, non-Märklin on the bottom. I used to store them on track, but I borrowed the track for a couple of things and I have to replace the track. And then down here, some of my war games that I still have. My old tabletop war games, the ones that I have left. Because I was a huge wargaming geek. So over here, and I'm trying to avoid knocking over a couple of cameras here, so bear with me while I do this. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. I don't want to hit the floor cam. Don't want to hit the floor cam. So you're going to hear me from a long way away, but there is my parking area for all my long high-speed trains. And there, something you probably have never seen, all the boxes to my trains. So that's where I store all my stuff. And then there's my shorter trains. Although I got a couple of my long ICs up above, and all my steam trains are up here. I'm not going to try to filter the camera back in here because I'll lose the mic. I need a mobile mic, but that's... Two Rhinegold's and a Rheingold tin. Now you gotta bear with me because I'm trying to move the cord. I gotta put the cord over the table here so I don't accidentally derail. So there, over here, you can see all my boxes of track and scenics. The bar that is now my work area. My Fowler car stuff if anybody wants it. And then I could go over there, but I'd have to drag the cord over the trains, and I don't want to do that. And you probably can't hear me well from there now anyhow. So I'm going to come back, but that was a quick tour of stuff you don't see. But those stairs, you can't see it. So I know I'm probably making you all sick, but now I can move things over. There. Okay, now I can set that down. And then one last tour. I know I've shown it before, but you'll get the idea here. But here's my command center. So here's my Central Station 3. I have 2 mobile station 2s. I have a 3rd mobile station here, which I didn't turn on today. I actually got a 4th one down there. I have this camera and this camera, or computer screens. Then I have my tablet. Then I have, hey, Luma's here. I have that, and then I have another computer where I watch the live stream. That's Joyce's camera where she can watch chat and everything. But so that's my command center. So, and there's the supercomputer down there. If you really want to be disgusted, if you're an electrician, that is all my camera wiring and control wiring running everything. My internet, hardwired internet, my train magazines and books. But yeah, there's so much wiring under here. More over here. It is an absolute spider web of temporary wiring until I get everything in where I want it. But that is the system. Luma, Sir Luma, nice to have you. I have not abandoned, well, yes and no. The answer to your question is yes and no. I have not abandoned Fowler car, but I am creating a hybrid. A mixture of the Wiesmann, the Fowler car, and my own ideas. And we're going to see if it works. Stefan! Dude! I have 4 mobile stations, Raymond. Or are you saying you have? I have 4 mobile stations. Let me see. Who was that? Von Don Eisenbahn. Von Don Eisenbahn, actually, it's about half the basement for model trains. Maybe 2/3. There is, well, you can see it in, well, let me go to the main cam. Come out, where is it? If you look behind me, there's 2 doors. There is a workroom right there. That used to be my hobby room until I got into trains. That's where I played my war games and stuff like that. And then that's the laundry room. So about half the basement is devoted to trains, because that's a big room. That is 3.5 meters by 4 meters. That's a 3.5 meters by 4 meters room. Give or take half a meter. It's roughly 12 by 15. That's a 12 by 15 room. And then the laundry room is about 10 by 12. No. My earliest ones were all here. My earliest train video was on, well, the best cam that shows it is this one. My layout started there, where you see those two chairs. Where you see those two chairs. Actually, there's a third one to the left, but the two next to each other. My first table started there and was a rectangle that came out and just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger across this room. And then I tore it down and I built a table very similar to this, and then I rebuilt that table into this table. Oh, he stopped. Or did he? Oh, this camera stopped again. Darn it. Dude, what's up? Why are all my cameras funking out? So just bear with me. This is just how I reboot the camera. I wonder if that other one freaked out too again. Hey, Stefan, it's great to see you. Skål! Oh, it's great to see you. Yes, it has been a long time, and it's just great when somebody that's been gone a long time comes back. Yes, Stefan, everything was shot here. Where I'm sitting now. So let's go to the multi-view. There we go. Let's go to this view. Where I'm sitting now, that is where everything I've ever talked about, like my video on Ballastine, well, that was right here where I did Ballastine. Everything's been here. Most of the videos I did were after I rebuilt this basement. We had a flooding disaster, and we had to have our basement floor dug up and have a new weeping system, a drainage system put in under our basement floor with a sump pump to kick the water out. And so I rebuilt everything. Since everything had to be moved and taken down, I rebuilt the entire basement, new electrical wiring, new lights, new ceiling, new walls, new color, and so yeah. Some of my earliest videos, the walls might look green because the walls in here were green at one time. That could be, Jean-Ricard. It's also could be, I turn the system on. Normally I do a camera run through before I turn the system on, and then I don't have problems with the cameras, because there are a couple of cameras that occasionally can get into arguments with each other. Because I'm betting that other camera may have frozen now. Let me go check that one. Nope, that one's still working, so we're good. But really, the biggest issue is that camera I was using to walk you guys around with. When he's unplugged, all the other cameras are fine. When he plugs in, a couple of cameras will act up. But we're just now entering the danger zone, my friend Jean-Ricard. We're just entering the danger zone. Because we're about that time where last Friday and 3 Fridays ago, it all crashed. Oh, that's a nice view. You got a lot of trains coming through there right now. That's cool. I don't know if anybody else thinks so, but I do. I don't need to worry about the platforms and all that, the empty platforms that don't even have proper roofs, because all that's getting ripped out. But I want to get this Fowler car system done before I start working on all that. Because I'm going to put the big Bremen covered, well, I'm going to put the Bremen station in and the covered platform section in. But the funny thing is, Stefan, this is version 3.0 of my layout. Version 1.0 was a 4x8 board. That was the very first video. Actually, the first video I did was my kitchen table. The very first video was my kitchen table. That's me in a white shirt, which is the model for anybody who's been around this channel a long time. That video is from 2015. It's me in a white shirt and jeans, which is why the ghost of 2015 always wore a white dress shirt and jeans. Because the only video of me running trains in the year 2015 were those videos of me running the train on the kitchen table wearing the white shirt and jeans. So that is, quote, the ghost of 2015. And then 3 years later, when I started building this most recent version of the layout, and I started the show Model Train Outsider, and started the channel Model Train Outsider, I was 3 years into the hobby now, and that idealistic nincompoop Ghost of 2015 became a counterpoint, which helped me work out getting in front of a camera. It's weird to explain, but when my family told me to go on YouTube, the thought of speaking and doing what I'm doing now was just, why would anybody want to listen to me? Why would anybody come and talk to me? But they encouraged me to get on the channel, so I did those videos, and I talked to myself. Which, there's so much double meaning between me and the Ghost of 2015. It's actually Jean Ricard. It's probably the best psychoanalysis of me you will get. The two sides of me. The very pragmatic, almost pessimistic side, and the very optimistic, we can do anything side. Yes, that giant, that's getting a bit of a repaint, and I'm trying to learn how to 3D print some things that will adjust it to make it look like a hybrid between the Bremen and the Hannover Bahnhof. Since Delmenhorst runs to Bremen and then on to Hanover, or Hannover. So, yeah, that will be going in there once I finish repainting it. And you will hear that too many times, Raymond. I'm sorry. When I finish it. When I finish it. When I get around to working on it again. When I finish it. When I work on that. Oh, I'm sorry, Michael. I saw you come in while I had the camera further away. Hello, Michael McCarville. Great to see you here. Yeah, I had to rebuild this entire basement because we had flooding, which destroyed the flooring. We had carpeting down here at one time, and we decided to put in hardwood flooring afterwards. Actually, it's laminate flooring, not hardwood. But we, yeah, so I've entirely rebuilt this down. The only thing I didn't do was remove the studs. I repaired a few studs. Actually, I should say that. Because the studs down here are aluminum studs. When the guy finished this basement, he used aluminum studs, and there's a lot of pros about using aluminum studs. However, using aluminum studs in a potential plane flooding area, not smart. Although, I guess rusting is better than getting moisture in the wood and mold. But at least pressure treated is supposed to be mold resistant. But anyhow, yeah, so I started with the table. It was a 4x8 board. Then it became a 4x10. Then it became a 4x12. Then it was a 4x16. Then it was a 4x22. And it was just this long table across the middle of the basement. And then my son moved out, and my daughter, who had moved back in temporarily, my oldest daughter, she and her then, they moved out. And my wife said, the basement, yours. Just take it. Build the layout you dream. Just take the whole basement, it's yours. Joyce said, take it, do what you want. The kids don't use it anymore. I moved my daughter's sewing stuff that she had over where I have my ICEs parked. In that part of the room, she had a little desk and table and that. And I gave her my room there. And then I built version 2.0. So all those other versions were 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. And then I built this giant C, which was version 2.0. And then I ripped everything off of it, put new stuff on top of it, and that became 3.0. And this is version 3.2. Maybe 3.3. Because I then added the parking area over there for my HSTs. Originally this was 8 by 10 and 8 by 12. Now it's 8 by 11 and a half and 8 by 12 and a half. The middle was 2 foot deep by 5 foot. Now it's 2.5 feet deep by 6 foot. That was one of the big changes when I went from version 2.0 to 3.0 or version 2 to version 3. I made the middle section here bigger and built my little, because I had a desk at one time in here. I had a desk in the middle here, and I took the desk out and put in all the shelving, test track and programming track, workbench area originally. Now it holds all these extra cameras and computers and stuff. Here in the Jam. Oh man, I love the Jam. Hot Dog Pilot. Oh my God, I love the Jam. Yeah, saltwater's bad. Now, our flooding is not saltwater. We are freshwater. We have a lake and a river near us, but the river is actually far away. And believe me, I would have rather had the river flood. What flooded in our basement, and by the way, Joyce and I were in Germany at the time. What flooded in our basement, the sewers, because we had massive downpours of rains and storms, and the city had been rebuilding the sewer system in this part of our city. The sewers were overwhelmed. Our sewers backed up. The water in my basement was sewage water. Nasty. And it got to cook down here for 2 weeks until Joyce and I, 9 days, a week and a half, before Joyce and I got home to deal with it. And by that time, the floodwaters had receded and everything poured out the drain again. But, oh my God, it stank. This house stank. The basement was god-awful. We had to put on breathers and come down here and rip out the carpeting. We called the insurance company and they said, yeah, just rip the carpeting out, clean it up, don't worry about that. And so that was 2008. See, I wasn't into model trains yet, but that was 2008. But what we didn't know is that that flood had done a lot of damage to the foundation of our house. And we started noticing water in the basement whenever we had decent rain. And the thing is, I had a beautiful library down here, entertainment center, TV for the kids, all my books. And I noticed that the library, the bookshelves on the bottom kept rotting out. And then finally, as time went by, we would notice that there was water. Dad, the carpet's wet here if we had a very particularly heavy rain. And so finally we moved everything and called in pros, and they said, yeah, your foundation's loaded with water and it can't release it anymore. Your weeping system is shot. You need an all-new weeping system in your basement, outside as well. You need a sump pump. So they came in, and by the time that happened, I had my 22-foot-long table in here. And they came in and we signed the papers on Friday. We signed the papers on Friday, and it was going to be, we'll start in January or February. They called us up Saturday and said they just had a cancellation and they would cut $4,000 off the bill if we would let them come in on Tuesday and start. I had this giant table. I had all kinds of other stuff in here. I had a library and books and everything else here. And this is on Saturday. And Joyce and I said, yeah. And I had to get this basement cleared. And the only thing left in this basement in the middle was my table because I had nowhere to go with it. And the problem was I got 90% of my trains boxed up and put away, and I had to work. I had to work Monday. I had to come home from work Monday and finish getting this place cleared out and finding places to put it all. I got all my trains boxed up and stored safely, but I had like 3 trains, and I went to bed at like 1 in the morning, had to get up at 6, and I took a half day off work so that I could be here when the workers came in. And, you know, and they had told me, they had come in and they said, no, the table's fine, you did a great job. And I said, well, look, there's layout stuff under here, just don't, you know, you got to be careful around the table. They said, oh, we will. 3 of the guys were like, oh, I love model trains, you got any pictures of it? And I showed them some pictures I had taken of my table and a couple of videos I had taken. They loved it. The problem is, within 2 weeks of working in my basement, I come home from work and there's concrete blocks on my table. And by blocks, I don't mean cinder blocks, I mean chunks of concrete they took out of my floor. And the workers, the guys that they were just pulling in off the streets to help do this job, they didn't care about my table and they were putting stuff on it. They broke buildings. I had 2 trains broken. Of which one I was able to completely fix. The other one I never got working right and finally got rid of it. My first Metronom. It was just a Metronom locomotive. They broke that. And I had to replace a ton of track. But once they were done, then we had to redo the basement. That's when Joyce said, well, let's really redo the basement. Repaint it, redo this, because we had to rip out the walls because of the mold that had been growing in the walls and everything. Had to get rid of all that. And so finally, it was just chaos. And so I didn't work on my table, and then beginning in January we put the flooring in. Then I put the walls back in. I put new walls in, but I put the flooring in first. Then I put the walls in. I protected the flooring. Then I put the walls in. I took out the ceiling, new electrical, and then, only then, when the walls and the ceiling were done and we had painted the walls, middle of January, I took everything off to discover what all was really damaged and broken. And that's when Joyce said, just start over. Build a big table, take the whole basement. We'll leave the books in that workroom for now. Just take the table, build as big as you want. And that's when we started really going on what I have going today. And that was all 2018. That was 2017 and 2018. Yeah, that's true. You've been... Oh, I did have, because, yeah, I dropped a little second there. Sorry about that, guys, but yeah, right now everything's cool again. But I've been rambling on the story for 20 minutes. I didn't even pay attention to that, or 15 minutes. So sorry about that, guys. Sorry, I had a story going and I just finished them. Dino's here. Hey, Dino. How are you, Sir Dino? But yeah, that's a tragic and happy history of my basement because it's much lighter down here. The new lighting system I put in is so much brighter. It's you can see down here. It was always kind of dark and dank in here. And the floor is really nice in here. Joyce and I did a great job putting this flooring in. I did a good job with the drywall and the ceiling and the lights. But yeah, it was 2016 to 2018 may have been the most tumultuous years Joyce and I ever had together. And I don't say that in a relationship way, but 2016 started with, I went to do my taxes and found out somebody had stolen Joyce's ID and already filed taxes in her name. And so we had to deal with that all of 2016. Plus, we had already bought all the material. I was going to be rebuilding the kitchen. And then Joyce had knee replacement surgery after the Germany trip. Plus, Joyce got offered a chance to transfer schools, and she kind of wanted to leave the school she was at. And she got offered to come to the school she now teaches at. So a lot of change there because I'm rebuilding the kitchen and the dining room. I'm redoing everything. Joyce is having knee replacement surgery, so now my daughter Liz and my son-in-law Chris were amazing helps with getting the flooring done in the kitchen, helping with putting the countertops in and doing the backsplash and that. But I still did 70% of the work. 75% of that work, the heavy lifting and such. But my son-in-law Chris really did a great job helping me with the flooring. My daughter Liz did a great job helping me with the backsplash. And then we went into 2017, and that's when we had we really started noticing the problems with the water in the basement and contacted the company and had to redo the basement. And then 2018 was me finishing redoing the basement and then starting all over with a train layout, which I always call the train table. Well, yeah, Raymond, that's bullcrap. That's law. A landlord can't even say, well, I don't deal with those issues, or says you have to deal with it. He can charge you for damage you did, like you put a hole in a wall somewhere. He can charge you for repair, but by law, national law, in the United States at least, if you have an issue, the landlord has to take care of it in a timely manner, or you can sue them, or do what you did, which is refuse to pay rent until they come through. You're totally within your rights for that. But that was the, alright, so let's see. Nobody's there now. Alright, let's go to this view for a bit. But this is probably the best camera that gives you a decent view of the overall expanse of the layout. Hey, Inked Rails, long time no see. Hope you're doing. And again, I got the guys on the floor here, so I can almost touch that camera over there, down here below me. But then one of the next big layout changes, besides the Fowler-Wiesmann car hybrid system I'm trying to put in, is that double O layout is going to be raised. It's coming off the floor. I'm going to build a little 4x8 table right there and get it off the floor because one of the biggest things Joyce and I are trying to do is to prepare the room where Artie's going to stay while he's here, which right now is our workout room, but it's also the cat room. That's where the cat litter boxes are. We're trying to move the cat litter boxes down here and into the laundry room where we always had them with our previous cat. We're going to try to get the cats to do their business down here. And of course, these cats will mess with that stuff on the floor. Now, technically, the cats have the ability to jump on this table, but they show a reluctance to jump high on most things. They really do. I mean, there's a gate up there that they've never jumped, but we're leaving the gate open, hoping they'll start exploring down here. Yes, the cat poop area. Hey, man, how are you? Mansville is here. Hey, man, how are you? Yeah, they may not. Our previous cat, who died in 2020, she never hopped up on my tables. She never hopped up on my train tables or my wargaming tables. Never. These two might. But it's a... I would like to get rid of the cats. But right now, the only way I could get rid of these cats, because no place will take them. Not to mention, Joyce doesn't want to get rid of the cats, and my daughter Liz probably would kill me if I got rid of the cats. But nobody wants to take the cats. And the only other option is I either pay $100 or $125 each and have them put down, which I don't have the heart to do right now. Or I drive 100, 200 miles west or east of here and throw them out of the car in the middle of the night. Hey, Owen Concord! No, because I don't even think my Beetle Eurostar, did it come with a track map? Maybe it did. I might do that if I could find one just for the hell of it, but I don't think the track mats are 4x8. But just, you know, what I'd probably do when I put it up on a 4x8 table is I'll buy just a giant roll. They're expensive, but you can get rolls of mats of static grass. Like, I've got little bits where I put it on here to test. But yeah, you can buy, you know, basically it's done for war gamers, but model train guys can use them too. Where do I have a couple of corners? Well, here, let's go with the mobile cam again. Mobile show time. Right there. Oh, let's go to the non-shaky hand. Those are static grass mats. And you can get them in 4x8. They're like $200, but you can get them. So I'd be looking at maybe doing that. I would not put a lot of effort into it. I won't put a lot of effort into the 00 because I've got this that's been sitting unfinished for 5 years, 6 years. So I'm not going to put a lot of effort into the 00. The 00 is not going to ever be, and actually I don't even want to call it a 00. It's a DC. It's a 2-rail. And it'll just be 2 loops of train, 2 loops of track. And it's a chance to run the British trains I've got because I do like some British trains. I would like to get a couple of more UK trains. I've got the Mallard. To be honest, I still would like a GWR Class 800. I'd like a Trans-Pennine 397 or even a Trans-Pennine with a Daypole Class 68 locomotive pulling it, or even a ScottsRail HST. I can't afford them and afford my hobby. I can't afford those and afford my hobby, my German stuff. But, next time, like when I come to Getz in October of next year, since I didn't get to go this year, I had a shopping list for Getz this year. I had stuff I was going to buy. I had a big shopping list for Getz, and I was going to look for certain cars. Oh, I don't know about that. I think there's a lot of hobbies you can afford. Any hobby has an expense. Some hobbies are definitely cheaper than others. And you go, well, fishing is a hobby and it's not very expensive. It can be if you start totaling up what you spend on new rods and reels and fisher's license and blah, blah, blah. It adds up. Is a model train expensive? No. But again, as we've all talked about, and I run the risk of getting on my high horse here again, but model trains, yes, it's expensive, but everybody who does model trains, at people like Clyde, people like Graham from Graham Folston, Brian here from Finnerton, they find ways to stay in the hobby even if they can't afford the new fanciest $500 locomotive every week, and I don't want to be discouraging or sound like I'm disparaging anybody. But there are people who show you, if you got a little bit of fix it up in you. David from Scott Rails here, Scotsman living in Canada, who runs 00 train. Well, he runs 00 and American HO and Canadian HO. He puts out a video every week showing how many locomotives he's fixing. He's doing this series now where he's doing a bunch of locomotives a fan gave him. A friend of his channel gave him a bunch of locomotives and said, fix them for me, I'll pay you. And David says, I don't really feel like I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to charge you to do it. And that way, if I screw up, you're not out anything. But I think David puts himself down a little too hard because I watch him and I'm impressed with his knowledge of where he looks at things and says, this works here, this works here, this works here. I don't understand modern or even older trains, but I know if I sit and look at an older model train, I can figure out very quickly how the electronics work because I used to fix electric footballs and I used to fix other electric tools and toys and stuff like that. So yeah, a little bit of electronic or electrical knowledge, you can kind of figure those things out. And that's it, Owen. You have to prioritize. And as Jean Ricard will say, and anybody who knows me, including my wife, as you know, is my attitudes towards model trains has changed significantly since I got in this hobby. You know, before I got in this hobby, even in early 2015, model trains, nah, not into them, boring. And then I decided I wanted to get one and put in my classroom. I bought one. My wife says, that's too nice to put in your classroom, get something else. So I got something else to put in my classroom, and I kept the one home. I got some track to run it. And then, once I saw the digital controller and all the sound and light functions, all of a sudden, 52, 53 years of model train snobbery went out the window. I was a kid, and this was the coolest shit ever. So by the time I didn't know what I was doing. I wanted an ICE-3. The only ICE-3 I found was Märklin. A friend said, oh yeah, Märklin's German and they're the best. I was like, okay. He didn't say, oh, by the way, the 3-rail, it's going to be hard to find 3-rail, very expensive, it's more expensive than DC and blah, blah, blah. He didn't tell me that. He just said, yeah, Märklin's the best. That's a good name to buy. Okay. Then I need track. Okay, Märklin track, Märklin C-track. Okay, I need a controller. Okay, Märklin controller. And before I knew it, everything I had was Märklin, and then I decided I want another train, Märklin. And then I want another train, Märklin. And then I need more space to run it. Joy says, build a table in the basement. Okay, boom. And I just got done telling that story. So yeah, but originally the rule was, because Joyce and I did not have a lot of money at that time. We were just coming out of near financial ruin. The rule was we had to have ridden the trains. It had to be within certain price points, and I wasn't going to buy that many. And 3 years into the hobby, I had 12 trains. But I had already broken the rule because I had 2 Railjets, the Austrian and the Czech, and Joyce had bought me a freight train, and I'd never ridden a freight train. But her attitude was like, you need a freight train. And suddenly, I'm hooked. And then I retired. But actually, even before I retired, after years where we had pay cuts, my last 4 years as a teacher, they finally gave us our pay cuts back. And I suddenly was making decent money. Plus, my kids had moved out. I wasn't paying insurance on 3 cars. I wasn't paying for college anymore. I wasn't doing this or that with my kids. I had some spare money. Hey, look, I can afford this train. Oh, I can afford this train. Oh, I can afford this train. And now I have so many trains, my mind boggles. And as Jean Ricard says, me buying this set is just a sign of how insane I've gotten. That's not even they're not even real liveries. They're imaginary. They are designer, but it was a Märklin collector's kit of these potential liveries. And in my brain, I was just like, that's cool. I'd like it. And Joyce looked at me and she's like, you don't need it. She didn't say you can't have it. You don't need it. I know, but it's cool. And I've never had like a true, the Rheingolds were collected. And now I've got steamers, and I'm not even into steam trains, but apparently I am because I now have 6 steamers plus Emma. I'm an Era 6 guy, except now I've got, well, not counting the steamers, I've got 4 non-Era 6 trains, plus now these make 5, these imaginary no-Era trains. What am I doing? And yeah, I am hooked. So now the thing is, I still try to limit myself to Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic, Central Europe, where I travel and where I do kind of know something about the Era 6 world of trains there. But Lord knows, I went to the UK, and what happened? I've got a Mallard, and I've got an Azuma, and I've got a Beatles Eurostar, and I've got the Beatles singles train, and I've got the Beatles album wagon. Okay, that's more because it's Beatles than because it's trains, but it's still trains. It's insane. So as Jean Ricard probably has repeated here, but I see he's commenting on what I've said. I'm now a collector. I'm not just a model train, I'm now a collector. And I am lucky, although that will change in a couple of years when Joyce retires. But I've had the money to expand exceptionally the last couple of years. And I know I'm lucky. And I've got friends that talk about how, you know, this sounds bad and I don't, but I feel guilty. But I have friends that say there's a $100 Loco and they can't afford it. And I just wasted $120 on a train I didn't need. And I do feel guilty about that. Not enough to not buy trains, but when I show my trains and I say, oh, look what I got. I know I've got friends that are also into trains that don't have half of what I have. And I feel like I might be rubbing it in their faces. But, you know, I've had the opportunity to do these things after all these years. So I hope I don't make people angry. I do. I mean, trains are definitely a passion for me now. I mean, I'm still not a rail fanning guy. I'm not going to go out and videotape trains. But when Joyce and I are standing around waiting for a train, we take pictures. But we take pictures and videos more for you guys than for us. You know, we'll be sitting there, oh, we should film this because we could put this in a video and some of the guys might like this. But I'm still not a big rail fanner. It's about riding the trains and watching the trains while I'm sitting at a station watching the trains, waiting for my train to come. Oh, Chris, I don't want to get to that stage where I buy something and forget I have it. Now, granted, that has happened. I have bought things and used them and then put them away and didn't need them for a little while. And then when I needed them, couldn't find them, so I buy another one. And then all of a sudden we open some box from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Oh, here it is. Now I've got 2 of them. But I haven't done that with trains yet. Wow, okay. We're at the minute 40 mark and yeah, I saw that and I'm not buying it. And all it is, they released a Beatles train last year that was that same steamer, but the cars were the Beatles EPs. Now it's the Beatles B-sides or whatever they're calling it. And I'm a Beatle fan, but there comes a point where no, I'm not buying that just because it's Beatles. I'm sure a lot of guys will, and I've got 2 Beatle trains and a bunch of Beatle wagons, but I got to finish my Beatle wagons because they have not been released here in the United States yet. They were released and sold out in the UK, but they never made it over here. And every time I tried to go to Hornby's on UK, because I'm registered on UK, they say, well, you should buy from the American site. You should buy from Hornby US. So every time I tried to buy it from Hornby UK, but they want you to pre-order, like pay in advance. I'm not paying in advance. I'll pay when they get it in stock. So I'm still waiting for the last 5 cars or whatever they released last year. Yeah, and it is not a competition. And it's so funny you guys mention that because, wow, Jean Ricard, Mark Bascom, Model Railway Fantasia, who's put up some very cool, great, thought-invoking videos. And I know he took some shit for the one because people accused him of trashing Hornby. He wasn't trashing Hornby. He just used Hornby as the example of his point. He could have said Bachman. He could have said Daypole. He just happened to use Hornby because Hornby had just announced their 2024 new stuff. And yet a lot of people jumped on him for that video. But he brought up great points in that video. And then he just did a video today where he brought up great points. But I don't want to talk about what they talked about those videos. It's the fact that they used some words and lines, and Jean Ricard just used another one. It's not a competition. I have got a huge backlog of songs because I keep waiting for Joyce. I've got the music. I'm already making the videos. I'm just waiting for Joyce to sing them. And I get one, and I've written a song. And the funny thing is, the one song that I'm thinking of doing like this weekend, if Joyce will sing it or we'll sing it together, I use several, I use lines before you guys said them, but they're lines you guys said, including the line, "It's not a competition." But I've written 3 songs in the last 2 weeks, plus the 7 songs I've been waiting for Joyce to record. I have a ton of model train parody videos to come out if I can get Joyce to sing. But she had COVID, then she had flu, then she had other issues, and then she had this happen, and then she was too busy with work, and then over Christmas break it was the holidays, and then last week she didn't have her voice, and I'm just like, come on! Oh, I agree, Chris. There are people who make it a competition. But it becomes an ego thing. They want the biggest, they want the best, they want the most. I'm not like that, at least in this hobby or any hobby. I'm in it for the fun. That's why most of the channels, the vast majority of channels I'm subscribed to, if not all of them, are people that are in it for the fun, regardless of size. It's the people who just have fun with what they're doing. Some guys have bigger layouts, some guys have smaller layouts. Speaking of which, Robert from Robert's Train Set has not posted or been on in a couple of weeks. I hope he's okay. All right, Brian, thanks for hanging out. I know it's getting late over on the UK side. And Luma is, oh, and Anthony Middleport. I see a bunch of people saying goodbye, Anthony, and thought they were saying it to me. But Brian is saying goodnight, and Anthony from Middleport is saying goodnight. Okay. So yeah, I did see that Beatles train. I'm not buying it. I'm not even tempted. I don't like the Loco. And at this point, if Hornby wants me to buy a Beatles train, it's going to have to be something in a Class 68 or something in an HST of some variation. You know, get me a Class 800 or a Class 397 in a really cool Beatles livery. And don't just do Yellow Submarine. Do a Sgt. Pepper's one. That would be cool. But I catch Robert's, I know Robert was in a couple of live streams recently, popped in to say hi, but he hasn't posted anything himself in a couple of weeks. And normally he'll pop in and say hi to me. Oh, looks like the Railjet has decided to pop its pantograph again. You have 5 layouts? I've seen, have I only just seen the one then? Wasn't that all the same? Where you got the orcs and today you ran the chocolate train and the orcs are attacking the castle and the Uruk-hai. I have 3 layouts, 2 of which are combined into one. Because I got this big table layout, then I got the smaller layout on this one side where the trains just do a little circle on that side. And then I've got the guys on the floor. Those are two separate layouts. Holy cow, Monsville. I thought they were the same table. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to have to really look more carefully. You have an N gauge and a TT. Okay. I think Joyce would do a Lorena Bobbitt, and if anybody gets that, if I said, oh, I want to do an N gauge layout with this. If I said I wanted to switch to N gauge, Joyce would shoot me. And Joyce is anti-gun. But she would go out and buy a gun and shoot me if I decided I wanted to change gauges or add a gauge. And another one in your bar. That's true. Robert is one of the, I forgot about that. Robert is a guy that can't go up in the loft. And, of course, he was doing his one little one. Because Tim JD, if you guys didn't see Tim JD, he built a little, it's not quite an ingle nook, but something akin to an ingle nook he built in the windowsill. That was so cool. The track, and what the heck, he'll put a couple, he built this really cool ingle nook. Tim, if you're still listening in the background, post a link to that video. That was so cool. Anthony at Middleport, you're probably gone by now, but I just want to respond to that. No, thank you for coming. I am not seeing any buffering, Andy. Did anybody else see that buffering that time? I must have, because Joyce's computer dropped down to 720. But I did not see any buffering on mine, and everything's still reading good. And we're going on the 2-hour mark. Knock on wood. It's... Dino says buffering, buffering. Wow, that's weird. Yeah, because all my diagnostics are saying I shouldn't be. And the guy said, who's saying buffering? Are you K? So maybe it's weather. All right, okay, there you go. I am going to try to open that up and save that. Oh, I can't open that up there. I'll open it up from this window. Stop moving on me every time I go to click on it. Oh, just that opening image. That's cool. Thank you, Mons. I'm going to watch that video now. Well, not now because I'm live. But that's cool. Hey, thank you for that, Owen Concord. Jumpus interruptus. That's what we used to call the kids when we were young. Oh, wait, no. Never mind. Never mind. Wow. Weird, because the YouTube feed is saying everything's good. OBS is saying everything's good, and usually when you guys are buffering, something is going wrong. One of the two start throwing a temper tantrum. And now Joyce's computer did drop from 1080 down to 720, so it must have refreshed, which means it must have buffered at least once, but everything else is good. Yeah, Jumpus Interruptus is what you call the kids when you're trying to be romantic late at night and a thunderstorm hits. See, now I'm watching everything like a hawk. I'm so paranoid about it now. I went 2 years without any real issues, and since I got the supercomputer, because before if I did have issues, it's because I began adding more cameras than that old computer could handle. Now with this new computer, it can handle all this and more. And like I said, I've never had a problem, but then Windows upgraded, OBS upgraded, and YouTube upgraded all within a couple of weeks of each other. In fact, Windows has had multiple upgrades. Yeah, pull the string tighter. The tin can's rusting out. You need a new soup can. Because, yeah, Monsville, whenever I join a channel, I usually go back and if they have a lot of videos over several years, I'll just try to, like, watch a couple of the early ones and then a couple in the middle and then a couple of the more recent ones just to get a feel. The phone decided. Apparently, Randall, your phone might have better taste than you have. Randall, you do not want to be watching this shit. Click. No, I do want to watch this. The can's not the only thing. Wait a minute, your string is rusting? Oh. If you're talking about anything else, that's not rust. And see a doctor. Oh my God, you stupid cords! You will wrap around anything at any time! Oh my God. Electrical cords are like horny snakes. You just put a couple on the floor and you come back an hour later and they are all intertwined and there's 3 other cords you didn't know were there mixed in. Alright, well that's good to hear, Graham. Like I said, I'm not, all my devices that normally give me indication that something's up, the only one that was weird was this one, and that probably went to a commercial. Dumpy's Rusty Nuts, great band. Funny thing that you mentioned that, Chris, is Rusty Twinger, his original name before I changed it to Twinger was Nuts. He was going to be Rusty Nuts with 2 T, N-U-T-T-S, Rusty Nuts. And then I saw a cartoon or something where somebody used that name, and I said, well, I can't use that name. I'll do something else. And I came up with Twinger because Twinger is what they call somebody who plays a banjo, but it's also Old West slang for, you know, what do you call that thing, honey?
Thing.
A thing.
I said a thingy.
A thingy. That's like George Harrison in Help. A fiendish thingy! A fiendish thingy! Hey lads, a fiendish thingy! Okay, you need a microphone, don't you?
I do. So, hello everybody. Hi Andy. Oh, Wandy.
Hang on.
Hi Tom.
You can't wave until people can actually
That's
see
true.
you.
Hi Sean. Hi Dino.
Where are you? Where are you?
You just can't see past Anthony. Hi, Valley.
There you go,
It's
that's
Edward,
good enough.
right? Hi, Karen. Ave Luma. Hello, Grandpa Rails. So anyway, I'll wave at you now, Andy. Hi, Inked. Hi, Mons.
He's from the UK. Give him the royal wave.
Hi, Much West. And hey, Leslie just came in. And
Joyce
so,
is another night of the Rhomboid table.
Hi to everyone. I think I'm a night test, but that's
A
beside the
night
point.
test? A night test.
A night test.
I prefer a night E, but that's a different story.
Indeed. Hello, Joseph. Hi, Leamington.
Now, being the egalitarian that you are and being
Yeah.
a strong woman's right activist, as a knight, notice I didn't say you were a lady, married to a lord. You are
Right.
a knight yourself. Wielder of the sacred, holy aluminum baseball bat.
Okay. Hey, Ray.
Defender against
You got some
space
twangers.
monkeys.
Oh, boy.
Space monkeys from the future,
Hi,
right.
Andy.
Hey, Ray Bertelson, how are you?
That's right. Maybe we need to bring those guys back. I'll get the bat back. Although I think we finally got rid of the bat.
Oh, the Browns got killed. And if
Yeah.
you remember, I said last week I expected them to lose and lose badly.
And yeah, they did. It was not pretty at all.
It was ugly.
But, oh well. I mean, they really, they cobbled a team together and did well for what they had. Any jokes going? Oh, Anthony always has jokes going.
I always got jokes going.
He always has jokes going. So, hi, Raymond. I'm the queen of the Rhomboid table. Oh, my goodness. That's quite an elevation, John.
Is it?
Don't
But you
think
don't. You
so?
always think of the queen as being,
Royalty.
below the king, and it's royalty. But I'm making you one of the equals.
I'm part of the gang. Yeah, the Cowboys got crushed. I know.
Well, would you, anyhow? The point I was going with. But as a knight, would you be Sir Joyce or Lady Joyce? Because lady always implies like you're married to the Lord and you're not of.
All right, but you're going from 2023 and trying to apply those rules to
Right.
the
The Middle Ages.
Middle Ages, and so you really can't answer that.
Well,
quite
when the women get knighted in the UK, they're Dame, like Dame
There you go.
Edna,
So I'm
and Dame Judi Dench.
I'm Dame Joyce. There
You're
you
Dame
go.
Joyce.
There we go. Yeah, Andy was there. Dame Joyce.
What a dame.
Yeah, that's a dame. So I guess we're there. Pantograph up.
Yeah, it popped its pantograph about 30 minutes ago, I noticed. I don't know why it's doing it all of a sudden, but every now and then it just pop.
Well, it's searching.
I'll do that the
That's all right,
Blackadder
Ray.
way, the Rowan Atkinson way.
You can keep
Pop.
going.
Pop.
It's nothing like a dame. Yeah. First dames haven't always been
Queen
used
consort
to
is different.
respect
Now, mind you, I like the
way
idea of her
either.
being my consort or concubine even.
Oh, I'm the Majesty, the ruler, and you're the queen consort, is what he said. Right. So I think we're not going to worry about it. There's nothing you can say. Indeed. So I'd say let's all be happy and not worry about it.
It was a puzzle that I needed unraveled.
I think that's
And
what
wanted you,
it was.
and see, I cared enough about you to ask your opinion of it.
Yes, I understand.
Because I wasn't into calling you Sir Joyce. But if that's the nomen...
No, I don't want to be Sir Joyce either. That's very confusing.
Oh, good.
Nope. So I'd say don't worry about it.
Too late, I already did.
No, it's Dame.
Dame.
Yep, I'm set.
So don't worry about it anymore, is what you
yes,
said.
don't worry about it anymore.
Dame
I think
Daisy.
It's been settled.
Oh my God, could that be something that happens in some future
Matt Clark.
Matt Clark?
Yeah,
She's Dame Daisy.
Dame Daisy.
Oh shucks.
Well, when you do the
Oh, should
Orient,
it?
when you do the Orient
Express
Express,
storyline.
something
Oh,
could
yeah.
happen. Things could happen. Of course, we're going the wrong direction for that this year.
Indeed.
Empress of Toledo. I don't know how that would go with the rest of the women in Toledo.
No, Chris, she
As
cannot
far
be
as-
Guinevere. She cannot be
Yeah,
Guinevere because Guinevere cheated on the king.
I wouldn't do that.
But see, I don't
So-
want to think of myself as king of the rhomboid table. That was the whole point of Arthur. We're all equals. There's
That's
nobody at the
right.
head of the table.
Although rhomboid is not round.
No, it's
so
not.
You got a little bit of distinction. But on the other hand,
All right, I'm going to ask you this real quick. Do you know how I came up with Knights of the Rhomboid table?
well, you didn't want to use round.
Right.
Rhomboid is just a square turned sideways.
All right. It's a 3-step process. Round couldn't be a round table because that's already used.
All right, bye, Karen.
All right, Kira, good night. It can't be used.
Right.
And then Knights of the Square table has actually been used several times. It's in Bugs
Gotcha.
Bunny cartoons, but the one I was specifically thinking of was the Young Ones episode where the house seems to trans back in time and they meet the knight who wears flared armor.
Yeah.
And when he fights dragons, he likes to see it from the dragon's point of view. Oh, a hippie knight. And
yeah.
and he was like, he was kicked out and forced to sit at the square table because he was too square to sit at the round table. So I went to rhomboid because that's even more off kilter than a square table.
Yeah, you're right.
See, rhomboid is more
Go to heck.
off. There's
Which
no
man
right
can't say it?
angles.
Doesn't-
It's a parallelogram, but it's no right angles.
Right. I think it is right angle.
What's that?
It is right angle. It's just a sideways. Well, then maybe it doesn't at right angles. All right, I have to look it up again.
Because I thought of Knights of the Trapezoid table too. But rhomboid worked better. Yeah, Knights of the Rhomboid table. We
Yeah,
definitely
for
are
sure it
able.
is. Conquering galaxies before you can even spell your
There you go,
name.
Raymond.
Yeah.
The only thing is, like I said, the only thing this Order of Knights doesn't have is a wizard.
Not it. Somebody else could be a wizard if they want to. Apparently Raymond does. He's been conquering galaxies.
That's not Joyce. You were conquering galaxies before you could ever spell your name.
Before you could spell your name. Or me.
I know, I've been able to spell my name since the mid-late 60s.
Indeed. Jenny Kirk rubbed off on you? That's somewhat scary, but okay. No offense to Jenny, of course.
Well, of course, that all goes back to the line that they
I
had
don't think I
Gandalf
want
say.
Anthony rubbing off on any of you either, so.
No, I'm not going to rub off on anybody. At least not on camera.
It doesn't help
And not without being asked.
I'll behave.
Good night, folks! You knew when you said that was going to go. You knew. You were spoon-feeding that to me. You knew where that was going. And you wanted me to make that joke.
Oh, yeah, like,
You're a very naughty girl.
give you your review and like from my channel.
Actually, that is your channel.
No, this is my other channel.
Oh, from your other channel.
My other channel.
I'll get my coat.
Fair. Behave.
I am behaving.
Yeah,
Badly.
Badly.
Now behave. I am. Badly.
So, is Lindy on the stream?
Yeah, turn that down.
Yeah, you're right. I said I ended up for something else.
I have not seen Lindy on the stream.
Okay.
She's probably suspecting that we crashed already.
Oh, okay, Tom. Overwhelmed from the new releases. And which? Well, he's a Märklin, so any of the ones you put on, I
Well,
think.
he looks at Roco, and he's got some two-rail
right.
track too
Okay,
that he runs.
gotcha.
I don't know. I mean, I saw a lot of beautiful stuff, but I didn't see anything that jumped up and said, "Buy me."
That's good.
The closest was that Belgian one, I think, from, was that Roco? Was it the Belgian one in the Roco catalog? It's a Belgian steamer. Oh my God, was that pretty.
I gave you,
You gave me a dirty look, I know.
I know, I gave you, no, I watched your videos, but not really. I gave you a like and just ran it. That's love, baby.
The only thing I pre-ordered is the Desero from
Kaya
Märklin.
has waved to you a couple of times. Oh, it's time.
Uh-oh, it's time. Plug ears, everybody.
Plug
it's time.
ears, indeed.
Kyan! Opa loves you! Hi,
I
Kyan!
love you.
Hey, Chris and Lindy, love you
Hi,
guys
Chris and
too.
Lindy. I love you too.
Hi there.
Okay. Yeah, here we go.
Now, the thing is, in my
Sean
video...
says the S2 from Roco, or 52, 52? I don't know.
Yeah, the 52 from Roco.
I can't read it.
And if anybody is new to the channel, Lindy Loves is my daughter. She's married to Chris, and their son is my grandson, Kyan. So everybody's
Yep.
saying hi to Kyan. Well, a lot of people are saying hi to Kyan.
Yep.
Hi, Kyan!
Great, but yelled
But, in my video, I did say that the Northlander was an exclusive club model, but then going back,
old
they also
school.
have the MHI tag on it. So it's a club model, and then there's also an MHI version. It's both. So apparently, you still have to be a member of something to get it, but apparently, a couple of people said they liked it, but, oh, it's limited to, you have to be a member of this. But apparently, yeah, some of the American shops will be able to have it in stock, and the ordinary person can order. Because in my video, and it said on it that it was a Märklin Insider Club release. But then on another page, it had the MHI symbol on it. I went back and looked at it, and yes, it's also an MHI. So it's a Märklin Club model, and then or there's a variation of it that is the club model, and then there's an MHI. MHI simply means it's a dealer store. It's a Märklin dealer store that's part of their initiative.
I see you have the new 111 on slow mode.
Did it finally slow down?
It's just crawling now. Probably not crawling, but it's still going pretty slow.
Because he was flying, and I finally turned him down to 46.
Yep.
So apparently he tired out.
Ah, there you go, Raymond. He got tired.
I'm wondering if I'll want to replace his decoder. Because
I
I had him at like 60 kilometers an hour, and he was running at like 90.
Gotcha.
And I turned it down to 46, and he slowed down to, or I slowed it down to 46, and he was still doing like 70 or 80.
Oh, that's interesting. You want to put them together and compare. Now, there's a line you can usually put things next to each other.
Yeah, now I keep getting notified
You
from
wanna
the
run
the American Märklin USA that I need to renew my membership. But I renew through Märklin, and I'm not due to renew again until like July. And when I tried to renew, they said, I thought, well, I'll just try to switch it to January and renew every January.
Sean says if you order that, you'll have a Canadian train.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's a cool looking train, but I don't know if that's a Canadian I want. I really am, what I would really like is, I want to get an American loco, and Märklin is releasing a fourth ES44. I mean, they released the 2 in UP. The Kansas City Southern is out now. In fact, they're sold out at Lipa, but they can still order it and get more versions in. And now they're releasing whatever the line was. It? No, it's Pennsylvania Railroad. It's a Pennsylvania Railroad Heritage livery on an ES44. Randall, if you're here, I don't know. I'd have to find somebody. Did they ever do an ES44 in the Pennsylvania Railroad livery as a memorial? Hey, Ewan, how are you? Because I might buy that one, and that would be the second one I'd pre-order. And then I would have an American Loco, and at least it's connected to this region. Pennsylvania Railroad did run in this area, not specifically in Toledo. But what I'm really hoping, I mean, I could do a CXX, because CSX runs through Toledo. Some Union Pacific actually goes through Toledo, or at least in joint with that Anchesi system.
John says you're a collector. And Tom says it's not Canadian, it's just painted in Ontario.
It's just painted, yeah, because it's a...
somebody else said
it's
Leslie
basically
said
a variation of the
Northlanders,
Dutch...
a French train.
The Dutch Kooploper.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, and see, that's another
Lucy.
one.
Okay.
That would be worth getting, is if they did it in BNSF. But if I was going to do it, it'd be cool to have something that might be seen running through Toledo. But the thing is, there are some cars from... Because I'm going to look passenger first. I'm not going to do freight. Yeah, because it is Norfolk Southern in a Pennsylvania Railroad livery. And I did not read the full description to see if they were saying it was a false flag, a fictional flag. Yeah, the Northlander is a TEE, or, like, isn't there one that's a variation of the Kooploper or something like that, or they're all the same, but yeah. But that's not one, I think it's a cool looking train, but it's not one I have to add.
Uh-oh. You're looking blurred.
You might want to see if your system rebooted and dropped you to a lower frame rate.
Yeah, because it looks okay here.
But like Joyce's did that a little bit ago, where like a commercial comes in, or where a commercial, it blips, and all of a sudden it drops you down a video mode. So you might want to go into the settings of your phone or tablet and see if all of a sudden it's at a lower frame rate. Hey, there's Stuart. Great to have you here,
Hi,
Stuart.
I gotta quit yawning.
Yeah, you do. It's a Ram TEE. Okay, I wasn't arguing. I just said I thought.
Yeah.
I knew it was related to one of those older trains.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, Jean, I have Anthony on two different channels, and it looks okay. So, yeah,
But you know, because there are people like, oh, you gotta get a French train. You gotta get that. No, I don't got to. I mean, I would like to have a really quality Orient Express.
Well, he doesn't have to.
I would like to have an Orient Express, just because, again, it's a famous train, like the Flying Scotsman, like the
those are
Ballard.
really expensive.
But yeah, to get one now, to get a quality one, it's expensive. Well, that's okay. You know that night jet I want?
Yeah.
You want to know how much that costs?
I don't want to know how much that costs.
Exactly.
Right. Oh, Z-scale starter set.
Well, start with Märklin, because they invented
Not
it.
us.
They do a Christmas set every year, so if you decide you don't like Z-scale, you can still put it on an end table or something like that and make it your Christmas train.
Indeed. So Randall, you're still in Springfield. Do you have snow? No, it snows real often where he is in Arkansas.
But, you know, Märklin invented Z-scale.
Well, I most
And they
certainly-
probably put more out than anybody else as far as Z-Scale. Now again, I didn't do the
I
Z-Scale
like
review.
adventures. That'll be all right.
Because I tend to only do the magazines, the
Gotcha,
catalogs
Randall.
of the big three that affect me. Because, I run Märklin and then Roco and Pico 3-rail stock that works on Märklin. And then there's, for example, I don't do the Brawa catalog. And why don't I do the Brawa catalog? Because it's not worth it. Because if Brawa were to release, here's our 2024 new items. Their 2024 new items were stuff they announced in 2020.
Turtle snow.
And their 2024 catalog is stuff you're not going to see until 2026 or 2027. Brawa is very slow at getting stuff out. Jägendorfer Collection's worse. Now, Evo asked me in a live stream yesterday, would I do the various Hornby European lines, Juif, Rivarossi, and Lima. And, and he was, I don't know if he was teasing me or just pointing out that it's all got these, longs. Oh, Electrotrend from Spanish. And the thing is, the Hornby site translates those catalogs to English, so I could technically put them up in English and have you let people read them in English. Because, I speak German. I can read a lot of Dutch, but I don't speak it well. I don't speak much Dutch at all. But usually I can read and understand about 50% of the Dutch I see.
That's true, Rod. I don't think I could retire.
No, we're not doing T-Scale. Yeah, T-Scale was just some guy. Actually, I think T-Scale was an American guy, and then a Japanese guy took it and made it into
Usable.
There is an argument as whether it was invented by an American or a Japanese guy, but it was the Japanese guy that made it a business and started selling it.
So I've heard of TT scale.
Well, TT actually is if I could have found a ICE3 in TT scale, I probably would have done TT scale.
Right. Because it's 187, right?
No, 187 is
This one, it's
HO.
one...
TT is 1 to 120. It's smaller. It's halfway between N scale and
HO.
and
Okay.
HO.
Gotcha. So what the heck is T? Tiny?
T is 1 to 1/400. Z scale is 1 to 220.
Wow, so T's even smaller?
So yeah, it's
That's bad alphabet, you know.
and N scale mostly has to be called N gauge because there's 3 different scales in N scale.
Gross.
I forget who does what, but is it the UK does 1 to 148, the United States is 1 to 150, and
I
Japan
can-
is 1 to
I
1.
can see that.
No, the UK is 1 to 160 in. I forget how it goes in N scale.
Edward, you
But
can
it's-
lose
there's
a
1 to
T-scale
148.
logo to the carpet gods.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see the cat getting it.
Yeah, TT is the second most popular scale in Eastern Europe.
Not just Eastern
Not just
Germany.
Eastern Germany, but maybe because of
Yeah,
Eastern Germany.
Poland and
But yeah, in Eastern Europe, TT is the second
Czech
most sold
Republic and so
scale.
on.
It's in Western Europe, it's HO and then N
Wow.
scale. It's HO and then N scale. In the UK, it's double O then N scale. Okay, so UK is 1 to 148, and then isn't Japan 1 to 150, and the United States 1 to 160, or Japan is 1 to 160, and the United States is 1 to 150. There's 3 different scales, and it's annoying as all. Yeah, I don't know.
Confused.
You will be after. Well, you know, it's like HO.
Yeah,
HO is supposed to be 1 to 87, but Very rarely do any of the HO companies release stock that is true HO. No, Tom, HO is the number one. But TT is the second most sold scale in Eastern Europe. HO is number one. But like in Western Europe, N scale is the second most sold scale. Size. Let's just say size, okay? So HO is number one. HO is number one around the world, except in Japan. In Japan, N scale is the number one seller. But HO is number one everywhere else except the UK, obviously, where 00 is. But then in Eastern Europe, TT, and I just read this in a model train business thing when I was looking some other stuff up. But TT is the second highest selling size in Eastern Europe. HO is 1, TT is 2. But Central Europe and Scandinavia, HOAC is biggest. Eastern Europe, HODC is biggest. France, HODC is slightly bigger than HOAC. France and Spain. Well, no, Spain is very dominant HODC. But France is split. You have a lot of Märklin guys in France. Despite the good French companies that make models.
The Maine Coon's enjoying their trains.
The Maine Coon's enjoying it.
Shrank, not shank. That's right.
Honey, I shanked the train.
Poor train. Hey, y'all.
Yeah, and UK TT was 3 millimeters to the foot, which was something like 1 to 140 or 1 to 100. I forget which way it went. But it was like 20 above or 20 below.
Alright, gentlemen and ladies, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button.
Oh, Daisy.
Daisy, Daisy.
Gotta keep her, you gotta keep her fresh. Gotta keep that voice fresh.
I tell you, my doctor said.
Not now, Miss Cockett.
Oh, silence.
Every time I try to get something done in my office, sex interferes.
That's Madame Lot's line is next.
Yes, Madame Lot follows next. I thought that was the problem with you all the time, Your Honor. Donna, I think he means the SECS, the Southwestern Ecumenical Council Service. That should be another poll. Which Daisy is more popular?
Which Daisy?
Yeah, there's Daisy in her Native American garb, and then Daisy in the black leather gunslinger mode, as I call it.
I can't imagine there's really going to be much discussion about that. Sure, it would go hands down. You can put up the... I don't know how you do it, but you can put up
I could put up a poll. Which Daisy do you all like?
I think you found me and
Daisy
you
as
broke
little.
it.
See, basically, it's Daisy as Little Beaver, and then Daisy in gunslinger mode.
Right. So, her Native American garb.
And I will say this:
Yeah.
I actually have gotten email people asking me if that was you
Oh.
in the black leather.
Oh, I'm not that thin. It's my only comment.
That's your only comment.
Yeah.
Good, then I can make more comments and you won't comment back.
Well, if provoked, I could respond more.
If provoked.
I don't think I gained any more
I will
likes
soon
than
see a
that.
VSOE on your table. There you go. Trying TT was 1 to 101. Yeah. Now, did Hornby... did Hornby's TT, did they go European 1 to 120 or the rest of the world 1 to 120 with their TT?
That's cool.
Because I thought that was they've taken a lot of clap for it, but I thought that was a good move because there are people that run European trains, but they also like having American stock. And UK stock, if you have a bunch of HO trains, the UK 00 stuff doesn't work. But N scale, you can make it work. My friend Eric from ANC Railroad and Life Journey, N scale Railroad and Life Journey, he does not.
That is a long time.
He's N scale, but he collects just high-speed trains from around the world. Right. So he's got Japanese Shinkansen and, you know, variations of the Japanese bullet train. He's got an ICE-3 or an ICE-4. He's got a French TGV. He's got a Thalys. He's got all of these because his love is high-speed trains from around the world. And I think that's an awesome collection. And somebody else was just showing off that they got a Shinkansen N scale. And we're talking about making their layout more international. And just, you know, things won't always fit. And my friend Christopher is going to run Japanese and British trains.
You like little choo-choos.
Exactly.
I know what I like, and I like what I know.
Well, the funny thing is, I am amazed how many people didn't know what an ecumenical council is. I mean, don't they have such things elsewhere in the world?
You're part of the world. Wow, I know religious.
Which is brilliant, because like I said, if 8 years ago I could have found an ICE-3 in TT scale, I would have done. And I wouldn't have done Märklin. I wouldn't be doing 3-rail. I probably would have an E-cost instead of a central station. And I'd probably only be running a couple of trains at a time because I didn't have this amazing ability in AC to not have to do all that. I'd have to learn all about the stupid isolating lines and turnouts and all that business. Via Rail Canada logos. Wow, that's wild.
It is crazy.
Of course, go Via. Via has beautiful trains. They're chargers. I would like, again, if somebody would make it in 3-rail, I'd probably buy an Amtrak charger. I mean, it's a triple whammy. I want an American train, Amtrak. If it's 3-rail, it works on my system. Yay. Boy, that dude has decided to die.
Is he
I think he's worn out.
You think he's just tired?
It might be. Like I said, we ran him in a bit.
Yeah.
All right, Ewan.
Now he's really at a slow crawl.
Yeah, and I've been cranking his speed up.
You have been moving him up, but he's not moving? He's not listening to
I
directions.
think the decoder is in need of... I think it's a decoder issue.
We're giving it all. We're giving it all. I'm trying. Break N scale, just looking at them.
Yeah, and N scale was just too small for me. That's why I never even looked at N scale. I looked at TT, thinking I wasn't going to have a lot of space. What do you mean check my charger connection? It is connected. It's right there and it's connected.
Well,
and then I'm a Dodge, and the greatest muscle car ever made was the Dodge Charger.
Yep.
The greatest American muscle car was the Dodge Charger, followed by the Dodge Challenger, followed by the Plymouth Cuda, Barracuda.
Is Artie on a plane?
Yes, Artie was getting on a plane. He was in here very early to announce he was getting on a plane.
All right, good for him.
All right, well, I'm just going to stop that guy. Actually, I want him to come over here before I stop him.
Well, he might make it. I tried. Put cars behind there, I wasn't ready.
I'm just thinking who else I could put on him to motivate, or just to run those cars the rest of the way.
But I had my lesson plans.
You did?
I did. And they would have been exactly the same, except we didn't have a Monday scheduled last week. I cut and paste.
Works for me.
Yeah.
I cut and paste year to year.
Yeah. Well, I don't, but I don't save them year to year. What's running on the floor? Well, there's a beetle train. That's a Taurus.
Oh, what's running on the floor? Well, yeah, I showed it earlier, but yeah, we can go to the floor. I mean, the floor is up there in the corner, but yeah, let's get to it. Floor cam.
Well,
Floor
he was
cam,
seeing
floor
it,
cam,
but
everybody floor cam.
he was seeing it, but he can't see what it is. So,
all right, well, let's take this guy off.
So, Zuma.
Tired little dude. And the Beatles Eurostar.
And the Beatles Eurostar. I knew that.
I'll let those two go.
Can you put somebody else on instead?
Yeah, why not?
Why not, indeed?
All right, who wants to pull some trains?
Oh, he waits for him to raise their pentagraph. Pick me!
All right, we'll put this guy on because I think he matches colors the best.
Okay.
I gotta stop this just for a second because I don't want to.
Yeah, running. Yeah.
I don't want to short out the system real quick while I put him on.
Yeah, I could throw some interesting signals.
Oh, we'll just do a quick short stop.
Yeah.
There, since it's design and train, that's a perfect matching
Really,
logo.
it is a great matching logo. Do you have to find it now on there?
Yeah, I gotta switch them off.
See, I kind of know what happens. You know what I want to do my next video on, but
I
I
gotta
need
move
your
them
help.
over to
Yay,
my,
up to 41. Thank you, people. Knights of the Rhomboid table.
There we go.
That's Dan, right?
What?
On Dan to Mom? I didn't say that right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how we get a different size train on the live feed. It has to go on the floor. All right, take care, Luma.
All right, Ave Luma. Good night. Bonne nuit. Good night.
Have you swept the floor from last week?
Obrigado.
I think I heard you say
Actually,
something.
I did sweep the floor last week. Unfortunately, I didn't sweep it with all the construction I did today.
Yeah, I was gonna
so
say, I
it's
heard
looking
you
pretty
sweep
dusty.
it earlier, but I assume it was your project.
Oh, yeah, I did not.
His project.
I didn't think of it.
He has a project. Isn't that good?
That's the tragedy. Is I cleaned up before last week's live stream because I talked about how dirty it was, and then I cleaned up again, and then I did all the work I did this week and forgot to clean up on the floor. I cleaned up on the main track, but I didn't even think about the track on the
I
floor.
really wasn't trying to point it out. I think it looks okay from my view.
Oh, it's very dusty. It's filthy, just filthy.
So,
Whoops, not that camera.
yeah.
Ah! I just, where is it? Oh, he's coming around right now, the 11 lane.
Yeah, middle of winter is hard, isn't it? I mean, even though we are...
There you go, he's coming right now. I think this is the perfect match for Jean-Ricard. It's the DB Design and Bond, Design and Train, and then it's 4 cars from the design team. I think that's a perfect combo.
Super. Yeah.
Oh, that camera froze again. Dang it. This camera is frozen multiple times today. It's annoying me, Joyce.
I am very sorry, honey.
I don't know why it's acting up.
Can you refresh it?
That's what we're about to do.
Okie dokie.
I just got to switch it to virtual cam for a second. And then I will switch it back. And then bam, now it's working. But now the train I was going to show is gone.
It's gone. Nice thing about a layout like this, it'll come back.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Oh, like, let me lay out, the train will come back.
I know.
The people that mock my layout is because the trains come back too often.
See? See? His project? Woohoo! He had to take a bite out of his,
I explained
out
that.
of his layout. Yep. Yeah. Did you tell him our weather?
Yeah.
Yeah, Monday was a holiday, and then we were colded out Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday was a planned day off for me. I had a couple doctor's appointments I had to go to, just yearly stuff. And then we were off today because it snowed a little bit. Although I asked Liz, I assume she's mad at me again. Yeah, you know what she gets. She says the roads were very, very bad this morning, and most of them still are.
Lynn or Liz?
Liz.
Oh, you said Lynn.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
No,
our
I
daughter
don't-
on the other side is probably, what? I don't get that.
No, you're not mad at me, Lynn. At least I don't think
It's
you
the
are.
other daughter. The other daughter.
Yeah.
It's not that she gets mad at you. It's that if the roads are bad and she's driving, and you ask her how bad's the driving, you should know how bad the driving is.
Oh, I shouldn't. I'm not out in it. I felt like it was really kind of a ridiculous day off, to be honest. Right, yeah. Understood, Mom.
Understood.
I need to say, we're climate controlled down here, which is really, really nice, but Anthony added a heater because it is cold.
It gets cold in space, especially since we've had the windows redone. It's never seemed to quite rebound in here.
We're not, it should have worked the other way, so
Yeah, it should
we
be.
don't know.
Well, the whole house is colder than it should be.
Yeah, it is.
But again, I should have put insulation in there, but I was told don't need to.
And what?
When I redid the walls, when I had the walls down, I could have
Ah.
thrown the batting insulation up in there and been fine. It might have helped keep this room snug.
Yeah, maybe.
But everybody was like, below grade. If you're going to put batting in, it needs to be waterproof batting, which is twice the price of regular
Right.
batting. And
Right, indeed.
we're dropping people right and left, I tell you.
Well, it's getting late.
Oh, yeah, we still got like 15, 20 minutes.
It's 10:40.
Now, we had that
UK
pizza
and
for lunch
11:40.
today, so I assume dinner's light.
I was gonna make either cookies or cookie bars.
Cookies is good. We can have cookies for dinner.
Okay.
Your climate controls the Addams
Addams
Family
Family
cloud
cloud.
following you around. Yikes, that sounds tragic.
Yeah, we didn't see the movie, so
Well, no, but it's,
we watched the show.
yeah, but it's just a general reference. I don't think he's specifically.
Okay.
And there were 2 Addams Family movies. Actually, there was a third one that came out.
I could almost
Du-du-du-du.
snap.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, something recently.
Da-da-da-da.
can't say
Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. They're creepy and they're spooky, mysterious. and
Spooky.
They're all together, spooky. The Addams Family. Their house is a museum. When people come to see them, they really are a scream. The Addams Family. Da-da-da-da.
Bop,
Da-da-da-da.
bop, bop,
Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
bop, bop. Whew.
And he blew up a train. True story in Addams Family.
Yes.
It was the same
So one of
video
Anthony's
every time he
videos.
blew up the train. It was the same exact. They shot it from
Right.
3 different angles, but it was always the same
Yeah,
one
they
event.
didn't go through too many locals doing that.
No, I'm just watching my viewers watch list. We were at 30 and then 26 and then 21 real fast.
Yeah, 19 now.
The waitresses must be passing out the checks.
Everybody's clicking along, huh? We're all clicking.
Thing is, I don't snap well with my right hand anymore. I don't know why.
Oh, I can't snap with my left.
You can't snap
I
at
don't
all?
think at all.
My left, shaky hand, no good for anything hand.
I can't with my right.
Well, yeah, your
For
bandages on your fingers.
frictionless reasons.
Frictionless reasons. Wow, baby, I hear you're frictionless. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
I want a little bit. Just saying.
I've got 5 jokes. Literally, I've got 5 jokes, and the nicest of which is triple X rated.
Right? Yeah, just can't do it. Just can't do it.
Bursting at the seams.
Keeping it not X rated.
Oh, when I was younger, I could triple snap on my hand. I could go.
I almost have it with my left hand.
I can still get
I
two
think I
snaps.
used to do both
Two
hands,
snaps
so I
with
don't know
3
what's
fingers.
going on.
I don't know if you're hearing the double snap there.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Click, click.
I used to be able to do it through the pinky as well and do all 4, but age and decrepity
Oh, baby, sometimes you're weird.
What? That's weird. You still haven't gotten over the I can roll my tongue and you can't bit, can you?
Everybody
Have
can
you?
roll their tongue.
Everybody in our family can roll the tongue but her.
Yeah. Everybody in my family can roll their tongue but me.
You're a mutant.
Can't do it.
See, that's why. See, you have that mutant. I'm the only left-hander in my family.
Yeah, we should have a lefty with all the lefty leaning in our 2 families.
Yeah, none of our kids are lefties because that Dodge,
2 siblings and you.
that dominant Dodge DNA took over, and blue eyes and tall and. You can do east side, then west side, and back on both hands at the same time. I just wish I could drum or play guitar. I can't do any of them.
Not very long. Ah, well.
I have very quick and agile hands, but I cannot. My right hand, which you have to use to play chords, I always struggle. They're not really long fingers. They're not short. They're not stubby fingers either. I just struggle with guitar. I've tried to play guitar and learn guitar many times in life and just never did it. I'm just a singer in a rock and roll band. I'm just a member of a model train club.
Did you do that one? No.
No, we haven't done that one yet. We have not done that one yet. I keep waiting for you to do that one. But that's a tough one because the middle stanza is the hard part. Whoops. How come you didn't go all the way down to where you should have? Oh, that's... See, I want to do this one. I want you to sing a couple of songs this weekend, please.
Okay.
I'd like to do that one because I like that one. And actually, the funny thing is, Mark Bascom, after I wrote this, without knowing I'd written this, actually said 2 of these lines, or similar, in his one of his videos earlier this week. Hot Dog Pilot Andy said one of these lines, and Chris Valley said one of these lines. So apparently it's very trendy. This would fit because this seems to go along with the whole what's going on in the train world bit. So apparently I was catching that vibe.
Okie dokie.
I'm just a modeler who's new to this club, seeing so many faces that are staring at me. And while I'm looking, I feel so overwhelmed. Each one is just waiting to tell me how it will be. But if I think I know a thing or two about trains and they have an engineering degree, they'll tell me I'm just a member of this model train club.
Okay. So only so you can go in the club room and make yourself a couple when on the station. This model club is at one of the train
that's
stations?
the stanza that's going to be a pain in the butt. Yeah, that's the stanza that's going to be hard
Oh,
for that song.
I agree, Leslie.
And I want to do this one. You can do that one. It's just maintaining the weird rhythm of the song.
Yeah, I thought we
It's
did.
not even a weird rhythm. The problem is that may be up there along with Something Needs Repaired, one of the most obscure songs nobody will have ever heard
Yeah,
of.
they won't know it. Yep.
Anybody know the band, the Dandy Warhols? Anybody at all in here? Or are we all too old to know the band, the Dandy Warhols? Because we were all 25 to 30 years younger when they really were big. The Dandy Warhols.
Nobody's jumping in on that.
Okay, Chris says yep.
Okay.
And if you know their song, not if you were the last junkie on Earth, we've done a parody of that in model train form.
Right.
See, that's just it. It's a Siemens charger. See, it's another thing. Siemens, the German company that makes the track trades over. So again, I need an Amtrak Siemens charger in 3-rail. Somebody find one for me. Somebody make one for me, damn it.
Yeah, make one for him. That's easy.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, it's Ben and Lionel. I watch my friend Arthur O'Gage run his Lionel stuff, and he's got a couple of them. I was like, come on, Märklin, make one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're a rock band, but what genre would you call?
Grace had never heard of them.
Yeah.
Which variant of the charger?
So I got one yep.
Hey, yeah, one yep.
Well,
That's
I thought Chris Valley's maybe you're saying yep to something else. You okay the guitar? You're okay on the guitar?
On the guitar?
I never thought you'd be a junkie because heroin is so passe. But today, yeah. I never thought you'd join a train club because model trains are so passe. But today, I see that you have bought yourself some plywood tracks and a digital train. So what changed? You had once said that those who played with train sets in this day were so lame.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one play because they do add an extra syllable in there and you got to do it, but yeah.
Yeah.
And there was only another train which we did do.
Yeah.
But I want to do the Judas Priest one. I just don't know how well you can do Judas Priest.
No.
And then we've got Owner of a Lonely Heart. We have a model train parody of. Owner of a Lonely Heart. And I'm sorry, that's the one where everybody was quoting lines. Even though nobody knows I've written this until now. Like somebody's talking about it's not a competition, and there's a line in there where it goes, not a competition. Mark was saying, you do whatever you can, even if it's on the floor, you do what you can, and so yeah, there was a, so it's that one, so. Hey, there's Alan from Dragon Junction.
Alan.
I mean, I am able to sing that high falsetto voice. I just, I do that Roger Hodgson. When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. I have to work to get into it. And it still sounds horrible, but at least it's passable. So can I do John Anderson?
Should he do John Anderson?
Should I do John Anderson? No, I shouldn't, but can I? If I can't get you to sing it, we'd have to find you at a different pitch because you're not going to sing that high voice.
No, not really. I don't know,
Watch
voice
him now.
Cracking.
The eagle in the sky, how he does it one and only. Never gonna stop hearing that now.
Nope.
Never gonna stop hearing that now. Owner of a lonely heart. Owner of a lonely heart, much better than a owner of a broken heart. of a lonely heart. Say you don't want to chance it. You've been hurt so before. My Lord is here. I think we already said hi, but my Lord is here.
Yeah. Harry Davis.
But yeah, I've written, and I've got another one I'm working on thanks to Tim J.D. Dowd.
There you go, Tim.
Tim made a comment on a video, and I made a pun reference to a song lyric, and he didn't know the song, or I don't think he knew the song. So now I'm writing the song.
Nightly.
Good night, Lee. You'll be live Sunday at 5. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Well, let's not be too negative. It's obviously we don't know. I don't know. Every now and then I will get a comment from a friend that was still subscribed, and they'll say, he mentioned you again. And then I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to go look.
Yeah.
I wish everybody wealth and happiness. I just no longer float my boat in that stream.
Yep.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
Wait, no, what was, oh, God, Lily Tomlin. Her little Edith Ann from,
Yeah.
Laugh-In.
Laughing. That's the absolute truth.
And that's the absolute truth. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And then, of course, Forrest Gump did that. That's all I have to say about that. Well, then, we'll move on. Obviously, I guess, don't know. We'll just, maybe somebody will find out and let us know.
I think the bigger question is, did he go out or did something make him go out?
Well, there's a different story.
Like YouTube.
It could be a sad story.
That's true too.
But
Yeah.
he's got great trains, and he's got great stories about his trains. He just needs to stick to that. That's all I have to say about that.
Right, Sprue and Glue.
And that's the truth. Sprue and Glue was here. I didn't even know Sprue was here. Or is Sprue and Glue? Yeah, there he is. Ben lurking.
He's
Got to
leaving.
go. Well, thank you
He's
for hanging
lurking,
out.
buddy.
I haven't been making all the model
Mentioned
making.
something as he was
I've
on
been
his
busy
way
doing
out.
other things. I haven't been making any of the model making live streams. I like to pop in and see what they're building. The Alaskan Pipeline. Well, there's a random thought. The Alaskan Pipeline. That's slang for an Inuit. Never mind. That's how the Eskimo talks dirty to his girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
That's how the Eskimo talks dirty to his girlfriend. You want to help me lay some Alaskan pipeline? Good night, folks! Oh yeah, the
Ringy dingy, yeah.
one ringy dingy, two ringy
Hey,
dingy,
ringy dingy. Yeah, like her nose is like, hey, ringy dingy.
three ringy dingy. Yeah, she that little snort laugh when she hit. And all the birds in the trees, will they be singing so happily? Oh, joyfully, oh, playfully, watching me. But then they sent me away to teach me how to be logical. No, sensible, then logical.
Super twamp.
Super twamp. Yeah, I mean, my stream hasn't crushed in 3 hours, as it has done the last the last 3 Fridays. I've actually gotten work done on my hybrid Fowler car, Wiesmann car system. And, my trains are running smooth, and I'm surrounded by good people.
Oh.
And I've got a woman with boobs next to me, so it's all good.
Your train is... No, you're not. He's parked. Never mind.
What train's parked? Well, there's a lot of them parked here.
Sorry.
You just always look at that one corner and think somebody it's not moving. Hey, he's not moving. Well, if he did move, he'd hit somebody else.
Yeah, he would. So, okay. All is good.
Yeah, I watched Owls today. I watched about 3 of them before I went live, but I haven't commented. I watched about 7, 8, 9 videos today, and I only commented on 3 so far, and I've got like 4 more to watch because several people... It's all a plot against me. It's a plot. I see it now because everybody waits until it's about the time I go live, and then they start popping their videos on.
Right.
So I can't watch them, or I have to stay up late watching them. That's Victor Spinetti in the Beatles movie Help. No, it's Hard Day's Night. I see it all now. It's a plot.
Yeah.
I see it all now. It's a plot.
Yeah. Some of the nights remain.
You see that? British! If I had a Luga! That's Help.
It's to tie off your new jeans. That's why you gotta wash them first.
No, I was just going through. Like I said, I mean, I'm not even trying to make them secrets anymore. These are songs that are finished, other than a certain Somebody Needs to Sing. We have a train parody for Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes. We have a train parody of All You Need Is Love by the Beatles. We have a train parody of Dandy Warhol. That's one none of you, I guess, would know. Dandy Warhol's Not If You Were the Last Junkie on Earth. We have a train parody song of Moody Blues, I'm Just a Singer in a Rock and Roll Band.
A little problematic.
Which has got a middle 8 section, a bridge that is just impossible to sing. We've got Judas Priest, You've Got Another Thing Coming. And that's one I'd really like to get out there. I can't sing it, and Joyce doesn't think she can, but I want her to try it. Then we've got a Psychedelic Furs parody, but it's probably my least favorite of the batch. And then we've got Jukebox Hero by Foreigner from the late 70s, Jukebox
None
Hero.
of us think we can sing that one either.
Joyce doesn't want to sing that one because it was originally written specifically about somebody, but we then changed it enough.
The issue.
So yeah, that's
You waiting to move to China, Joseph?
and we've also got another Moody Blues song, The Legend of a Mind.
Right. That one's problematic.
That one's not problematic. We have the person's permission to do it because it was written about
No, it's
a
been
fellow
problematic
YouTuber, but
to
it's not on
sing.
YouTube
I
anymore.
tried singing there. I keep getting hung up.
Did you?
Yeah.
And then we got the Rolling Stones' Give Me Shelter. Which actually I sang one and never released it because I sounded so bad it was disgusting. Okay, well, it is 6:01.
Something to do with a lavvy. Say no more. Say no more.
Say no more. Listen to me once. I will... No. Listen to me closely. I shall only say this once. Listen to me closely. I shall only say this once. You better listen to her closely. She's only going to say this once.
I should say that to my students. No.
Indeed. I love the one we were watching where she's, every time she keeps going, she's, listen to me carefully. I shall only say this. And somebody interrupts her. She's like, oh, I'm not even going to do it. I'm not going to say anything now with all these interruptions. Oh, yeah. Oh, my Dicky.
Dusty Twinger?
You mean Rusty Twinger? What about Rusty Twinger?
Well, he was talking about the lavvy, I think.
Well, no, somebody else mentioned Tusty. I wonder if he meant Rusty. Yeah, he meant Rusty. I mean, I could try to sing as Rusty Twinger, but then that would be...
That's a different thing.
That's a different story altogether right there.
Yes, it is.
You would even listen to me carefully. I shall say this only once.
So
I'm a member of the French Underground. What's the French Underground doing here in East Germany? Mind your own business. That's from, the airplane guys in their spy parody.
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Yes? Hello? Yes? Yes? Yes. Well, let me know if there's any change in his condition.
Oh, I'm
He's
glad
dead.
the history. Yeah.
Let me know if there's a change in his condition. Click. He's dead. Well, maybe once or twice. I have a friend in Rome. Do you find it reasonable when I say biggest dickest? He has a wife, you know. Do you know what her name is? Incontinentia. Yeah, the problem is with train parody is like, it depends on the song, and then when I'm making the video, it's, you know, in some ways I suppose I could come downstairs and make some myself, but it's not so much the train, it's the situation on the train, or you know, running the models and that. You know, a lot of times it's more like I need to find pictures or video of like train club members fighting or arguing. Like when I did Something Needs Repaired, I need that. I actually need that for the One Moody Blues parody. The original song is I'm just a singer in a rock and roll band, but now I'm just a modeler in this model train club. And I think it's well done, but it's got a bridge section where how can we understand the fighting where they overlap, and it's really hard to sing, and it was really hard to write that bridge in the song. The main stanzas are fine, but it's that bridge that's tricky. And I only need her to sing the bridge once because they just sing the same bridge twice. And I think I wrote it that way in the song too.
Okay.
Throw him to the floor! Throw him to the floor! 8:30, just... See, you know, yeah, or however they phrase that. Throw him to the floor. Shall I throw him to the floor again, sir? Yes! Throw him to the floor! Famfin, the Sicilian Slayer. We have 76 salacious...
I'll keep you in mind, Randall.
Wee Brian! We do have a Brian, Lord. My favorite thing is I used to use the scene where they correct grammar after he's writing on the wall. They correct Latin grammar because I had to teach accusative and dative case to my students. And as we were learning accusative and dative case, I would always show that scene. Not that it had anything to do with German, but that these are parts of language. But that's motion. That's accusative case. That's motion towards. People called Romans, they go to the house. No, it says Romans go home. No, it doesn't. Yes, no, it doesn't. Romans? All right. Anyhow, I'm glad you guys all had a good time. We even went 7 minutes overtime just because I can't stop talking.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. So anyhow, let's go to the correct camera, my love. You too, Joyce. No, I'm sorry. I got this thing on my head. Get off! Get off! Get off! There, fine. God, now I'm your height. You are short.
Actually, you're shorter than I am.
I am. Anyhow, on behalf of Joyce and myself, we'd like to thank you all for spending part of your Friday evening with us again. It is amazing to have so many wonderful people, from Andy, the hot dog pilot, to Andy of March West Junction, to Andy Dobson, all the people named Andy. We got a lot of Andys.
A couple of Chris's.
And a few Chris's and a few Anthony's and the Owls. Of course, we have Owls. Mm-hmm. We got so many people. See, if I don't name everybody, I feel guilty for not naming everybody. So we just want to say thank you all for hanging out with us.
Indeed. It's easier.
So, once again, on behalf of Wifey Pooh and myself, we're going to say Auf Wiedersehen.
Cheers.
And happy trades.
Bye.
Take care, everybody. And then we hit this button.